All right, here's one. Auburn. I was looking on KenPom today.
If they can hit perimeter shots, I just don't think they can do it consistently. And how healthy is Jalen Williams going to be? If he's 100%, big difference. If you get an 85% Jalen Williams, 90% Jalen Williams, and they're not hitting their perimeter shots, then but I think Auburn could. I'll say Auburn, yes.
Now again, it is top 40 offensive efficiency. Auburn is at 22 right now in KenPom, which I think is their worst spot of the season so far. I don't think they would drop out of the 40 and fall out of this category, but they're at 22 right now, and that's the worst they've been on offense. I think, they were 19th last week, so it's not a huge change. So you'd say yes on Auburn. Duke?
No.
North Carolina?
Yes.
Arizona?
Yes.
So Lance has 1, 2,
7.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those 12 teams. Is there anybody not on this list that you think should be? There's somebody you think could win a championship?
I mean, if Auburn can win one, Alabama can win one.
So
I know people are going to disagree with that. But
here's the problem with Alabama. Here's why they are not listed here, because, again, it's top 40 adjusted offense, top 25 adjusted defense. Alabama is number 1 in adjusted offense by a significant margin right now, by the way, over Purdue. But they're 74th in defense.
Yeah,
that's a long way off.
Tell me what is going on with Kansas.
The Jayhawks, if you'll give me 1 second, I'll find where they are. Well, first of all, they can't win on the road. That's one thing that's going on with them. Gosh, Lance, give me... Oh, shoot. I hit the wrong button. Give me 1 second. I'm going to tell you where Kansas ranks in all of these.
Well, look, and I think Kevin McCullough, he is your Big 12 leading scorer, and he finally came back after missing a couple of weeks against Oklahoma, and he was a little rusty, but it was a game they were able to win.
Okay, Kansas is 46 offensively, 9th defensively, so they are very, very close to qualifying for this. And as I mentioned, this includes your NCAA tournament game, so they could easily play their way into this.
Yeah, and I am going to say Kansas is definitely a team that can win a national championship.
Yeah,
I would put Baylor as a team that can win a national championship.
Baylor is 77th defensively. They're about what Alabama is. Alabama and Baylor are a lot alike. 4th offensively, 77th defensively.
I got to tell you this, though, going into this tournament, I would rather, and Kentucky was a prime example of this. Well, maybe not a prime example because they've got so many great athletes, but it goes back to effort.
Yep.
Like if you're a good offensive team, I think you can get defense right quicker than you can get offense right.
Kentucky, 82nd defensively. That's their problem.
Oh, by the way, I think Kentucky, I know this is going to sound crazy, I think they could win a national championship.
Well, you heard Stephen Pearl. If you did not, you can go get it on demand. He basically said if they played that way, yeah, I don't know who beats them. That's essentially what Steven said.
Because you've got a guy in Antonio Reeves that can, he can carry the scoring load.
Yeah.
And then if you get everybody buying in, game out, Kentucky's going to be a tough out.
A couple of teams that are close. Wake Forest, 35th offensively, 29th defensively. They are very close on this.
Yeah, Wake is a good team. Again, I backed them this past Saturday in a game they lost to Virginia 49-47, but Wake's not winning 6 games.
New Mexico, 31st and 30th. No. But they're very close to qualifying for this, but I'm with you. I don't think they can win it. Colorado State, 32nd and 33rd. They're 20 and 6, one of those Mountain West teams.
Yeah, a ranked team out of the Mountain West, but no, I don't think they can put 6 together.
All right, a reminder, we got a lock tonight. Let's first of all, the lock is presented by Hemp Hill. Then we'll remind everyone one more time what we're doing at Lance's Lock.
Yeah, 205-229-2090. That is the number you need to call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. Make sure your HVAC unit ready to keep up with this changing weather. Hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
All right, we're giving you a chance to win $1,000 every single day at lanceslock.com. If you follow lanceslock.com on TikTok, we're going to release a video in the morning that tells you which game. Tonight, it's UConn and Creighton in Omaha. All you got to do is comment with the winner and the score. You just pick a winner and the score. At random, we're going to select 5 people out of the comments. If you're one of those 5 and you get the score right, we're giving you $1,000. There is no risk to you. None whatsoever. Lance's Lock on TikTok is where you do that. You can get all the plays at lanceslock.com. Thank you for joining us for the next round. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you on Wednesday at 9 a.m.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, we are live. It is the next round. Along with Lance Taylor, I'm Ryan Brown. Jim Dunaway, still a bit under the weather. Hopefully back with us soon. It is good to have all of you with us. Dunaway in the Next Round Store chair. The Next Round Store chair, all the gear that you see with the Next Round logo available right there at nextround.store. Easy to visit, easy to purchase, and we ship it out as quick as we can. Nextround.store. The shipping department here does a phenomenal job. I'm always getting compliments on that, by the way. I'll get like a text or a tweet from somebody that's like, hey, I ordered something yesterday and it got delivered this afternoon.
Yeah, one of my youngest brother's best friends has relocated to Las Vegas. Had an opportunity to spend a little time with him when we went out to L.A. because he was out there for the Rose Bowl. But he sent me a snapshot. He had gotten a hoodie, a couple of hats, and this was on Saturday. And he said, I ordered this on Thursday. So he orders on Thursday in our shop, and it's delivered on Saturday to Las Vegas.
That's pretty crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah, so you order at nextround.store. That stuff gets to you quick, and we appreciate everybody back in the shipping department that does a tremendous job of that. Tyler keeps them, he cracks the whip on that.
Yeah,
on that
I will say
right
that most places have gotten a lot better on delivery time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you order something and Amazon is supposed to deliver it, and I can't recall something that takes longer than 3 or 4 days.
No, I would agree completely. And I get a little bit excited, like when I order something, FedEx or Amazon or whatever, and you get that notification like your package will be delivered between 11 and 3 today. I'm like, all right, it's going to be there when I get home. If it's something I'm excited about getting, which rarely is it. Like
back in the day, this is going to date us, but I remember ordering things, and like you would order them through a comic book or something, and it would say, expect 4 to 6 weeks delivery. Yeah. And sometimes that would get doubled. And I remember like going to the mailbox. There was no notification that you were getting anything. I would just start going to the mailbox at the end of the month, and sometimes I would go for 4, 5, 6 straight weeks, and then when that package would get there, the worst was when you get like an action figure and it was broken.
Yeah,
and you had to send the shit back.
Yeah, it's a 2-month deal now. Yeah, but you used to have to cut it out and fill it out by hand and mail it to them, and they would ship it back.
Isn't it amazing how archaic that was back in the day? Yeah,
the last thing, I ordered my golf shoes for the season, and they arrived a couple weeks ago. You all right?
I dropped this today, and apparently it's broken.
All right, nextround.store, Lance. Got to go buy a new Yeti.
Pissed myself.
Yeah, I poured it all over you, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so my golf shoes but when I got that notification from FedEx that my golf shoes were showing up, got excited, Rockstar. I got to go home and get my golf shoes.
Season's about to begin.
My golf shoes are outside.
You get new golf shoes every season?
I do.
Wow.
Well, I mean,
I didn't know that's what. I don't know. Like, if that's
is that a needed thing, or is it just
clubs every season?
Is it just kind of a perk of?
They just wear out. You play enough, they're just going to wear down, and they get, if you play in any kind of mud, how like if you step in mud, you can wash and wash and wash, and they just never look the same, right?
Yeah, but I've got shoes that I've had for 15 years.
Yeah.
Now, I guess...
Have you played golf in them?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I guess
you shoot?
Some of these shoes I only wear, maybe once a month, but it seems like there's no way you could play that much golf in one season to wear out a pair of shoes. Like if you're a runner and you're running, 3 to 5 miles a day, 5 days a week, I can understand that sole's not going to be the same. But I would think that your golf shoe could perform for a couple of summers.
They probably could. I just like them to look crisp and clean out there. Play like you look, right? I tried to...
I've purchased one pair of golf shoes my entire life.
And you've played how many rounds, do you think?
Well, at that point, that was back in the early Jocks days when we were playing that par 3 out at Robert Trent Jones, like almost every Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
They were good drinking/money games. But I probably have played under 100 rounds in my life.
Yeah.
And is that a summer for you?
That's probably a good solid summer, 100 rounds of golf. Yeah, I try to get at least 100 rounds in. It's just you want to have your golf shoes ready.
Yeah, I can't decide if I wish I liked golf or I'm in a good spot because I don't. Like, I think I would probably play too much or as much as you guys. So I don't know if I'm missing out or not.
Yeah, I don't know. It's up to you. I mean, I like being outside for 4 hours, getting some sun on the skin, playing the tunes, playing the golf.
Yeah, see, I like doing that by the pool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Pool
Then
golf.
you're getting what you want.
So I guess I'm kind of doing the same
you're kind of
thing.
doing it. You're playing pool golf. All right, so we got a lot to get to tonight. Alabama, Florida. We're going to talk about that. The Gators, top 25 matchup, the only top 25 matchup in the entire country, 6 o'clock tonight at Coleman. We'll talk about that game as the Gators come to town. Rece Davis, College Game Day, with us to start the second hour. Brandon Marcello, college football analyst, CBS Sports and 24/7 Sports, with us coming up the start of the 11 o'clock hour. Of course, trash, 4 downs, everything in the show today. Let's start by looking back to last night. Missouri was playing host to Tennessee. Scott Forrester almost started the Scotty landmine. I was thinking about this the whole show because Forrester, what did you say in the chat yesterday when people in the chat were talking about the Tennessee-Missouri game? You said what?
I believe my words were Vols by 90.
Vols by 90. And somebody's like, Vols by 90. And then you followed it up by doubling down saying the best team in the SEC is not going to lose to a winless team in the SEC.
True, I did say that.
Yeah.
And I do still think that Tennessee's the best team in the SEC.
Well, that's fine. That's
I
a
don't
solid
disagree.
opinion. Yeah,
You know, sometimes you go on the road, and it might be at Missouri, a team that is winless right now in the SEC. By the way, we have not had a winless team start to finish in conference play since Georgetown in 2021, so it's been 3 years.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of hard to do in
guess
today's
so.
college basketball.
Well, let's see who Missouri's got left. You tell me where they find their win to
Tell me they got Vanderbilt at home. Is Stack coming in? By the way, I heard some what would we say?
I'm not reporting he got fired. Trust me.
No. But I did hear some not for public airing stuff on Stack behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah? Are you not happy?
Well, it just seems like Stack is what you would call going through the motions.
Well, they're 7-18, 2-10. It kind of feels that way.
Does feel that way. But there were some interesting revelations when it came to the Stackhouse era in Nashville. But if they don't have Vanderbilt coming to Missouri, I don't feel good about a win.
72-67 was the final last night. Here's what they've got left. They're at Arkansas, who got a win last night. I mean,
Yeah.
Arkansas at least is playing. They're not giving up.
I mean, going to College Station and winning that game and basically controlling the game throughout. I mean, Arkansas is a much better team, I think, right now than Missouri, especially in Bud Walton.
They're at Florida.
That's a loss.
Very unlikely. They host Ole Miss. I mean, I guess you could win that game.
Yeah, you could win that.
They host Auburn. I don't think you're going to beat Auburn. And then they're at LSU. They may go winless.
Yeah, I think they're going to go winless, but they've got 3 opportunities.
You think Ole Miss is their best chance?
Yeah, I think I would probably say Ole Miss is the best chance.
But I could not stop thinking about Scott's declaration during that game last night because they played right with Tennessee. I mean, they had not entirely packed it in.
You know, leading at half, I still wasn't buying in. I was doing the 4 split screen because I did have skin of the game when it came to BC against Florida State.
Right.
By the way, if you don't have capable people that have any ball handling skills in the ACC, you're not going to win a lot of games. And watching Boston College, it just felt like
they're not capable.
It felt like our old Park League teams. You remember those, Rocky?
We were tough to score on.
What was the closest game y'all guys had?
Oh, it had to be like 22, 23.
Yeah, I think we got one within 20, maybe.
Yeah.
The problem is you had a bunch of Sanford, Birmingham Southern, those type of players playing in this men's league with a bunch of jokers.
And we had a guy that we worked with that saw how bad we were, and within the first 5 minutes of the first game and for the rest of the season, quote unquote, had a bad back, did not play. If we didn't have Reed probably averaged a quadruple double every.
Yeah, I mean, Reed was our
every game.
go-to, and he was one of the few guys that could actually. He was our ball handler.
Yeah.
Like again, if they pressed, we were in trouble. But watching BC last night, awful. Anyway, I had it in the 4 screen. And I was like, this is a waste of time. There is no way Tennessee doesn't win this game. And you continue to wait for them to really stretch it out. And Dennis Gates, after the game, I don't know if we've got sound from the Missouri coach. He was like, please don't edit my F-bombs.
Yeah, we did, though. We edited it. So here's why we edit it. For the live show, anyway, we know that we're heard in offices and places of business. Sometimes you got your kids with you. So we try to... our on-demand stuff, you never know what you're going to get, right? That's a grab bag right there. If you're getting it on demand, there are no rules. There technically aren't rules here, but we at least try to be courteous to those that might be listening in public and in an office place. Dennis Gates gives us the mildest F-bomb. Like, you barely even have to edit this one, Lance. He's not even mad. Like, most people, when they use the F word, they do it in a rage, right?
Well,
they're upset about something.
It
gets emphasis.
In my opinion, maybe the most beautiful word in the English language, because we've talked about it. You can use it as a noun.
It's a lot of things.
Versatile.
Verb,
It is versatile,
adverb,
yes.
adjective.
It
You can
plays
use
every position.
And you can actually, you could use it 5 times over in one sentence, and you can get your point across. So I think it's an incredible word, and I can't wait to see exactly how Dennis Gates uses this after the loss last night to Tennessee.
It is the mildest use of it. Rockstar has it right here. Here is Missouri's coach talking. He's very, very upset, as you will see here.
The big picture of it all was our inability. We got to do a better job. We got to do a better job drawing fouls. I think we suck at it. We're f***ing terrible. We're terrible at drawing fouls, and we got to do a better job.
Going off of that, do you think that opened up the floor more for Dalton Connect?
Can y'all write all that in there, right? Y'all can write that in there, right? Make sure you don't bleep that out. All right?
See the dude's face when he said it, the player?
Noah Carter.
A nice smile there from Noah Carter.
Look at our coach in the press conference. Play it again, right?
No, his face when he drops the F-bomb.
yeah.
Because it's out of nowhere.
It all was our inability. We got to do a better job. We got to do a better job drawing fouls. I think we suck at it. We're f***ing terrible. We're terrible at drawing fouls.
I didn't catch that the first time. So, okay. Yeah. All right, coach going to say that in the post conference.
I'm going to assume he's heard it in practice a few times.
I got to think so. Probably with a little more emphasis than Dennis Gates used right there.
I mean, the foul discrepancy wasn't huge. I mean, Missouri was called for 23. Tennessee was called for 17. Tennessee shot 27 free throws. Missouri shot 21. I don't know if that was ultimately the difference in the game. I think the difference in the game is Tennessee's just a lot better, and Dalton Connect took over in the second half, scoring 15 of his 17 in the second half. But this is a Missouri team that, when they came into this league.
I was about to ask you this.
Yeah, I'll never forget this. Like, I thought Texas A&M was going to be like one of the Mississippi schools, just kind of middling when it came to football.
Yeah.
But when Missouri came in, I thought it was going to be disastrous in football, and I was like, they got a shot to be like the third or fourth consistently best team in the SEC when it comes to basketball. Basketball, they've never lived up to the hype.
It's crazy.
They've overachieved in football, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, I think they almost would be better, and this sounds crazy. So right now, the SEC, for the first time in a long time, has been the second best conference in college basketball. But I think if Missouri stays in the Big 12, I think they're a better basketball program right now in that loaded Big 12.
So since coming to the SEC, and keep in mind their first SEC season was 12-13, 2012 and 13. Frank Haith was the coach, if you remember that, when they came to the conference. Mike Anderson had been the coach. Frank Haith replaced him.
And I remember us thinking Mike Anderson was can't miss.
Oh, I know.
Well, both that Missouri and Arkansas.
He did. Mike Anderson did have a 31-win season and 2 23-win seasons. He made an Elite Eight, a second round, and a first round in 3 straight years. I mean, they'd kind of take that right now, I think.
I think they would.
If they could have that back. Yeah. So since they came to the conference, year one, NCAA division first round of the tournament. Year 2, NIT. Year 3, nothing. Year 4, nothing. Year 5, nothing. Year 6, first round. Year 7, ineligible. Year 8 was the COVID year. Year 9, first round. Year 10, nothing. Year 11, second round. It has taken them 11 years. Last year, they made the second round. It's taken them that long just to advance in the NCAA
to win
tournament.
A game.
Yeah.
So you think about it. In 11 years in this conference, they've advanced 1 time, and they've been to the tournament 4 times. So basically, every 3 years they're going to the tournament. If you are a relevant program at any degree, you go to the tournament every year. There should be zero excuse for a program like the Missouri to miss the tournament.
And since they have joined the conference, 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 11 is when they have gone to the tournament, and they've only advanced 1 time. It has been a very disappointing basketball team, and I don't know why. I don't know. I guess bad hires. Frank Haith obviously was a bad hire. They had to fire him. He did have 1 good year. Kim Anderson, I'd forgotten Kim Anderson was the coach. Did you remember that name?
I do, yeah, because Kim Anderson played for them, and Kim Anderson is now the coach for, oh my God, why am I forgetting this?
I don't know, but you can forget what he did at Missouri. Do you know how bad he was at Missouri? 9-23, 10-21, 8-23.
Yeah, Kim Anderson, I'm going to tell you right now, because I was just talking about him last week.
He was he was 8-46 in conference, Lance. 8-46 in conference. And Vincenzo Martin did not do a ton better. He did a little bit better. So Dennis Gates trying to dig it out of the ditch. I don't know what the answer is for Missouri basketball, but it's just kind of a blah product, man. And I'm with you. I thought it would be so much better when it came to the SEC.
I don't know. Maybe I dreamed something about Kim Anderson.
I could not have told you if you had said.
He was the Pittsburgh State men's basketball coach, and he retired in 2022. That's a different Kim Anderson. Yeah.
Different one? Not even the same guy at Missouri. I mean, I don't know how that guy would coach again after what he did at Missouri. Why would anybody hire him?
I don't know.
All right, so we'll talk about more of what happened last night. Woodhouse Day Spa, though, bringing you part of the show today. Woodhouse Day Spa.
Yeah, our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa, they want to remind you the gift of luxury is always a great gift. And the cool thing is, not only can you drop by their beautiful location that they've just recently renovated and they've added on. So they've got a private space there if you're having some kind of private party, maybe a bridal shower, bachelorette party, something like that. They can host that. Reach out to them for more information. But you can order that special person gift online 24/7, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Gift card, simple solution. Buy them 24/7. You can choose from a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, and nail services. Get and see Stewart and that great staff. It's the Woodhouse Day Spa. Yeah, it's Providence head coach.
Providence head coach is Kim English. That's
Kim
who you're
English,
thinking of
yep.
instead of Kim Anderson.
Yep.
Kim English.
Yep.
Well, I tell you what, if you'd have told me, name me the Providence head coach right now, I would have guessed all day before I got to
Kim English, really good player at Missouri.
Yeah, well, there you go. All right, also last night, as I mentioned, Arkansas got the win against Texas A&M. The biggest game last night, it was our game at lanceslock.com where somebody could win $1,000 if they picked the correct score. About 80% of the people, we had a ton of entries there. And if you don't know how that's working, go over on TikTok to Lance's Lock on TikTok. Make sure you subscribe. And every single day we're going to throw out a game. You're going to get to predict the score to that game with the winner and everything. We're going to pick 5 at random. If somebody gets it right, you win $1,000. It's pretty simple. I would say, looking back at it, because I look back at it as the game was going final last night.
There's no way anybody got this right because nobody believed.
80% went UConn.
Yeah, I mean, that
80%.
made sense. UConn went off 2.5, 3.5, depending on where you're shopping at. Hopefully, mybookie.ag. It was one of our 3 plays last night. We did have Creighton. I think we officially had the number at plus 2.5. They
did not matter.
0-6 all-time versus number 1 teams, and they had never been within single digits of a number 1. And they got up 23. Now, UConn made it a little interesting and cut it to 10, but that Creighton team wasn't losing last night. And Creighton has always lived under Doug McDermott, or Greg McDermott, I should say.
Yep. Doug was the son, right?
Yeah, on the threes. And 14-28 last night. And if you go back just a month ago when they played in Stores and they lost by 14 to UConn, they were 6-26 in that game. But they weren't missing last night. That's a really good Creighton team, and that's a big wake-up call for UConn. Because I heard Jay Billis say the 4 number 1 seeds are basically locked.
Oh, yeah, so he thinks right now they are, huh?
Yeah, and I don't know if I agree with that. I do agree that UConn, even with the loss, they are going to be a number 1 seed. They had won 14 consecutive Big East games. They were going for an all-time Big East record. Nobody has ever, in that illustrious history of the conference, won 15 straight. Do you know the only 2 teams, well, now 3 teams that have won 14 straight? You don't. 95-96 UConn.
All right. I would have guessed UConn was one of them, obviously.
You got to take it back to Lou Carnesecca, Chris Mullen,
that far
Walter
back to
Berry.
St. John's?
The 84-85 St. John's team won 15 consecutive in that season that had both Villanova and Georgetown in the Final Four.
Yeah, it turned out they were a pretty good team.
Yeah, Syracuse really good back then. Yeah. That was a great conference. But UConn that was just one of those games you flush if you're Danny Hurley. And, it's still, to me, the best team. Klingon gets in foul trouble early, 2 quick fouls, plays 11 first-half minutes. That was the difference. They stormed the court, which I guess if you're what I would call a proud basketball program in Creighton, and you've never beaten a number 1.
I guess. Scott's showing video, but I saw, I was watching the game. I went to bed with about a minute left, and Dan Hurley was already organizing how they were going to get off the court, which, by the way, we're going to preview this just to make sure in the break. But on the other side of this break, there is some Dan Hurley video that is leaked out that you might find interesting as he left the court.
The little shoulder ball?
Dan's got a little bit of a temper if you watch him. I mean, he's very animated on the sidelines.
Well, and I think he's more animated about the fact that his team gave up 14 threes, and they go 3 of 16 themselves.
Yeah, I was a little surprised when the announcer was like, Kevin Kugler, I think, was on the call for FS1. He's like, and the students are already getting ready to rush the court. I'm like, really? I mean, I know you're about to beat number 1, but you are Creighton. That's a pretty good basketball program.
Yeah, I'm not a big rush the court.
Yeah,
rush
but it's
the field.
students having fun.
I'm
I don't
indifferent.
Really care.
I really don't care. But if you are Creighton and in this situation you were 0-6 and you've never been within single digits and you just basically, as we called it, you dick whipped UConn last night, I got no problem with them rushing the court.
All right, we're gonna look at Dan Hurley leaving the court. Had some words for somebody. We'll discuss that when we return and talk more about Alabama, Florida. Obviously, Auburn's got the midweek bye. They don't play again until Saturday when they are in Athens to take on the Georgia Bulldogs. We'll continue to talk about that. More college basketball, obviously, coming up with Rece Davis, ESPN Game Day. As we go to break, I remind you, the people that redid the master bath at the Brown House would be A-plus tile home remodeling. If you're outdated in your bathroom and you're tired of that, or your kitchen, or your master bedroom closet, they do great work there. That's what my guy Brad Bell specializes in, those 3 things. And why that is important is you're going to enjoy it while you have your house, but you're going to get your money back when you go to sell your house on those things. Master bath, kitchen, master bedroom, those are big time for enjoying your house and getting your money back when you go to sell it. If any of those things, or really anything in your house, is something you're like, I really want to update it, Scott's showing you some video of a recent master bath bedroom closet that Brad redid there. Here is Brad's number. He can help you anywhere in the state of Alabama. 205-422-1758. That is 205-422-1758. If you miss anything I just said, reach out to me. I'll get you in touch with my man Brad Bell. Brad Bell, A-plus tile home remodeling.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
Ready to swap from your current auto or RV loan provider and drop your interest rate? Now is your chance. With Legacy Credit Union's annual swap and drop promotion, you can swap your current loan and save with Legacy in minutes. Whether you're a member or a potential member, Legacy Credit Union is here to help you drive into savings. Go online to swapanddrop.com or visit one of their 9 locations to take advantage of this incredible offer. Limited time offer, terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Hey, if you're looking for Birmingham's best pizza, you need to stop in and see our friends at Slice Pizza and Brew. It's as local as you can get, from the ingredients that go into every pizza to the beer on tap. For a great lunch or dinner, go see our friends today, Vestavia or Lakeview at Slice.
Let me introduce you to the new line of Red Wing athletic work shoes. This great new line is perfect for the industrial athlete, the guy who is working on concrete or running through the warehouse all day long. Red Wing Athletics use the same technology found in a running shoe, with soft mesh uppers, a lightweight aluminum toe for protection, and non-slip soles. This shoe is a winner. This comfortable new line of safety shoes are perfect for warehousing and light manufacturing. Plus, the colors look great. Stop by your local Red Wing shoe store, have your feet measured, and test drive a new pair of Red Wing athletic work shoes.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Alabama number tonight against Florida at mybookie.ag, currently 8.5. I think that's where the number would come. Alabama, red hot right now, 12-2 their last 14. And Mark Sears, I don't know where you've got him in your pecking order. I mean, Dalton Knecht's probably going to end up your SEC Player of the Year. But Sears, you're talking about the consistency of this guy, what he's going for 20-plus in 9 straight games if he gets it tonight.
If you were giving the award out, it would go to Sears, Knecht, or Janai Broom, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, and I think more Sears and Knecht now.
Yeah, I would agree, because they're probably going to compete for the conference title. I mean, it looks like it's going to be Alabama or Tennessee.
Yeah, and I think Knecht, just the way he's come onto the scene this year and the way he took that game over last night, I think he'll ultimately be the guy. But, Sears – not only is he going to be first-team All-SEC, do you think there's a chance when you start talking about All-American teams, when you go 3 deep and you've got 12 guys out there, or 15 guys, I should say, do you think Sears is one of those guys?
Jimmy Dykes, and look, Jimmy's doing a game in Tuscaloosa, so, I'm not saying he's trying to play to the crowd. I don't know. I mean, I trust Jimmy's opinion, but he said, in his opinion, Sears, this was during the game Saturday, he said Sears is the best all-around guard in America. All around. I mean, maybe there are some guys that score. I don't know how many guards score better than he does.
I mean, he leads the team in threes, and this is a team that shoots a lot of threes. He leads the team in steals.
Yep.
I mean, Mark Sears has been really, really good. I don't think this is a guy that's going to play in the NBA, but boy, he can make a ton of money overseas.
Bigger than you would think. I mean, I think they list him at 6'1", 6'2". Am I right about that?
That's right. Yeah, I think 6'1".
So that's over the magic 6-foot number. I don't know what he would do in the NBA. I'm with you, but again, a guy that could score that way from the point guard spot can make a ton of money overseas.
Yeah, look, and who knows? I mean, he continues to hit threes at the level he's hitting it right now. Can't discount that.
No, absolutely you cannot. Rockstar, in your email is this Dan Hurley thing, if you don't mind. It's a tweet from, I'm going to give you who tweeted it. Now, I'm going to say.
So you've got video on this.
Yeah, there's video of him leaving the court. Now, I'm going to make a point here.
Yeah, and I think Dan's a pretty big guy.
Cray Take, which is a Creighton website, is the one that is tweeting this out. And it is video of him leaving the court last night in Omaha. You're not going to be able to hear what Dan Hurley said, so I'm not going to tell you what people are speculating Dan Hurley said, because you do not hear it from this video. But I just want to show you the video, because I'm like,
okay, I've always thought Dan Hurley's bigger than this. He's only 6'1", 175 pounds.
With you. I thought he was a little bit bigger than 6'1".
I thought he was bigger than
that. So as Dan Hurley is leaving the court, you can turn the volume up, Rockstar. We can hear the volume, because like, why do you stop and engage right there? That's what I don't get. Like, he's yelling back at a fan right there.
The defending national champion.
Yeah, look at him right here. Stopping. Why are you even engaging fans?
I'm a good lip reader, too. I can see what he said.
Well, there's rumors as to what he said. But, I mean, I just don't understand why you're stopping to engage fans. I mean, the policeman is actually having to push you into the tunnel to keep you out of a situation.
By the way, the majority of those fans he's addressing are students.
Yeah.
That's bad look.
And the one guy wanted to make sure he was welcome to Omaha. He kept yelling, "Welcome to Omaha, Hurley, welcome to Omaha." But that, I mean, you can't hear anything Dan Hurley is saying. He's finger pointing, yelling at someone in the crowd. Then he stops and engages another. It's almost like if you watch him, it's almost like he's looking for a confrontation. Yeah. Like right here. So he stops and yells and finger points. Now look, it's like he's scanning the crowd right now. Where's my next one? Where's my next one? There's okay. All right, I'll talk to them too. I mean, that is a bad look, man.
Yeah, very, very petty. Put your head down. You had won 14 consecutive games. You got curb stomped and lived to fight another day. Yeah, I'm a little surprised that he would do what he just did there.
Yeah.
But I think this UConn team, they start to make waves, and it's starting to look like, I mean, a lot of people believe that they're going to go back-to-back. I got that coming up in 4 downs. But I could see UConn and Dan Hurley becoming black hat kind of guys and team.
Yeah, I think so. I think people didn't
they've been that good.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think people did not like Jim Calhoun back in the UConn days.
No.
I think he was very easy to pull against. I don't think Hurley's to that level yet.
Well, I mean, he was the quintessential Northeasterner, especially down here when you would hear Jim Calhoun. I mean, he was just one of those guys that.
Rockstar, what did he say? Jim Calhoun?
Not a chance.
No,
not one
a
dime.
dime back.
Not a dime. Oh, that jump talking about Calipari.
No,
not
no.
a dime.
Not a dime
Not
back.
a dime.
That guy was asking if he would give some of his salary back. Not a dime.
Jim Calhoun looked just like the grandfather in 16 Candles.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's my briefcase? Where'd you leave it?
That's not what I asked.
Or
you.
no, I guess it was the dad
It
in
was the dad.
16 Candles.
The
Yeah.
dad.
I can't envision
Jim
that.
Calhoun, alive or dead?
But he's alive because he's doing. He was coaching not too long ago. While you look up his age, Birmingham Squadron is back in action today and tomorrow. They're playing the Maine Celtics. We're going to be out there tomorrow. Now, we're going to be there before the game starts. We're going to be doing some video on the court, so stay tuned for that. But we're also going to be doing a specialty show, Set Your Alerts, tomorrow afternoon from out at the Squadron game. You can get tickets, birminghamsquadron.com, or call 205-719-0850, 205-719-0850. Great for church groups, youth groups, civic groups, any groups, and great just to go watch a little basketball down at Legacy Arena. And don't forget, Maine Celtics at Birmingham. Tonight it's tomorrow night at 7 and Friday night at 7. We'll be down there tomorrow. Did you find a Jim Calhoun age?
Yeah,
He's got to
he
be
will
70.
No, he'll be 82 in May.
82?
Yeah, I mean,
I was going to say 78.
I was going to say definitely touching 80.
He came and played in the Regents tradition because he was friends with Wimp. And
That was a long time ago.
that was a
though,
long
wasn't it?
time ago. He was still the UConn coach at the time.
How
And
many times do you think he won the AP Coach of the Year?
I don't know, but I was going to say, I remember him being nicer than I thought he was going to be. Like when he was there, he seemed like a nicer guy. AP Coach of the Year twice.
He only won it one time. Won 3 national championships, 4
But
Final
you know how that
Fours.
goes. It always
Yeah.
goes to the guy you expect nothing out of that accomplishes something.
Yeah, because one of Calhoun's championships was out of nowhere. Or maybe that was Kevin Ollie's.
You were mentioning the point spreads coming back in. Florida at Alabama. Alabama an 8.5-point favorite at mybookie.ag today, 6 o'clock ESPN2. For the Crimson Tide, I saw Brian Passing, analyst for the Crimson Tide Sports Network, tweet earlier today. In his opinion, this is the biggest game of the season for Alabama. Now, I don't know if Brian's just playing a game here, saying like the next game's always the biggest one, or if Brian genuinely means, I feel like this is the biggest game for Alabama. I don't know that I can make that case. I mean, I trust Brian's opinion here.
Yeah, I mean, look, all these opinions, everybody's opinions, subjective.
Everybody's got one. You know what it's like.
But, if Alabama was able to beat a Florida team that is also red hot, I mean, Florida has won 7 of their last 8. They've won 3 straight, and they've got size. Alabama would have to attack this a little differently. And I think, I'm not going to say it's their biggest game of the year. This is a game they should win. If they were going to Gainesville and they were able to pull off a win on the road against Florida, I think it's a little bit different.
Now, Brian even says at the start of his tweet, Passing says, hot take. So he realizes that people are going to disagree with this. Hot take, tonight is the biggest game of the year so far. I mean, here's the case I would make for it, Lance. You're leading the SEC right now. Now, this is in terms of winning the SEC, which, I'm always told that coaches put now in a one-bid conference, it's different. Like Andy Kennedy is going to approach this different. Andy knows he's got to go win his conference tournament to make the NCAA, right? Nate Oates does not have to do that. Bruce Pearl does not have to do that. So I've always told that coaches value the regular season conference championship more than anything because
it's more consistency.
It's more consistency, and it's a grind, and your team handles it well.
Yeah, it's a better gauge of where your team is throughout the year, but you could look at it like this. Your team gets hot in March. That's when you want them hot.
I would agree completely with you. But it's a hard path for Alabama to win the conference championship and lose here tonight. That's a hard path for Alabama to drop a home game.
If Tennessee would have, if they would have gotten that loss last night.
It's a different story, no doubt. But that is a hard path. I mean, it's hard math to find an Alabama conference championship.
You say that. I mean, Alabama would drop to 10-3. They would be tied with Tennessee.
Yeah, but look at the rest of their schedule.
Tennessee.
Yeah, but look at the rest of their schedule. Okay, if they beat Tennessee, they still got to go to Rupp Arena. And they still, by the way, have to go play Florida again at Florida. If Florida's good enough to beat you at Tuscaloosa, they're good enough to beat you in Gainesville. They've got to play at Ole Miss, which is a game I think Alabama favors. It favors Alabama. I just think if they lose this game tonight, it becomes much more difficult to win the SEC.
Yeah, and this would be an incredible win from the Florida Gators and Todd Golden. The more I hear about Todd Golden, you kind of heard it yesterday from Stephen Pearl, or on Monday. Was it Monday for Stephen Pearl? Yesterday. And he was talking about, we asked him about the analytics and the metrics, and he brought up Todd Golden. And I continue to hear that Todd Golden is a big, big analytic metric guy.
That's who he said. Yeah, he said that's who basically introduced it to them. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard Tom Hart talking about this, and I think Todd Golden's done a really good job. I mean, of getting this team, where they are, the consistency. They are firmly in the tournament. I would say Florida's probably a 7 right now.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you have them right now as far as seeding?
I mean, they are 28th in the net.
Yeah,
so that would put you about 7? In that neighborhood. Yeah.
6 or 7.
There's 6 or 7. Rockstar, give me Nate Oates, cut 7 here, because Alabama has recently, as the season unfolds, your quad 1 win, sometimes you can gain, sometimes you can lose. They've lost Indiana State as a quad 1 win. They are now 32nd in the net. And as Bryce points out, they've lost to Ohio State as well, who has slipped now to 64th in the net. That is no longer a top 50 neutral site win for the Crimson Tide. Tonight is a chance to get a quad 1 win. And Nate Oates points out this will not be Alabama's, or hasn't been Alabama's only chance to get a quad 1 win. It's been a tough stretch. They're in the middle of a tough stretch of college basketball right now.
Another big SEC game. We had a 5-game stretch of 5 straight quad 1 games, which, it's a great opportunity. It's also, tough stretch, so you can look at it 2 ways. We're going to try to look at it as a great opportunity to improve our resume, play good teams, with Indiana State losing a couple and Oregon not staying in the top 50 of the net. I think we're down to only 2 quad 1 wins, so if we got 5 of them in a row, we can get some more quad 1 wins, improve our resume. And now, the other side is you're trying to win the league, and we've got the toughest remaining schedule of all the contenders in the SEC, so we're going to have to play well.
Yeah.
I was cussing BC because I had him plus 3.5 last night in Tallahassee. Do you think some of these coaches, do you think he's cussing Dana Altman in Oregon when they're playing bad?
Could you guys just
sons
continue
of bitches.
Yeah.
Why can't you stay in the top 50?
Yeah.
Looking at Florida, when you see so Florida's playing, again, really good basketball right now, but they're out of conference losses. They lost by 3 to Virginia, tournament team. They lost against Baylor, tournament team. They lost at Wake, tournament team. Those are their 3 losses out of conference.
That's not terrible, is it? It's a better team than their record shows, I think.
Yeah, the more you look at Florida, it is definitely a better team. They're catching 8.5 here. I think the number opened at 7.5. Good chance there will be a play on this game at Lance's lock.
Oh, look out, because I'm about to give you a stat right here that I don't think it's going to affect your play one way or the other. Little T and I will be at the game tonight, by the way, so follow us on social media. I'm filling in for Dunaway since he's a little bit under the weather. Follow us on social media, and we'll have some content coming to you from Coleman Coliseum tonight for Alabama, Florida. John Rothstein, who covers college basketball for CBS Sports, tweets this out this morning. I saw this morning, and I immediately went to mybookie.ag and confirmed what I wondered. Florida, in their last 8 games, averaging 83.9 points per game. Alabama and their conference home games averaging 92.3 points per game. As he says, expect a shootout in Tuscaloosa, game of the night in college hoops. Yeah. I immediately went to mybookie.ag and I was like, is this the highest total on the board tonight?
I haven't looked at the total yet.
Indeed it is, 174.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're going
to that's a big number. Now, this number came for the Auburn game this past weekend against Kentucky. It was really inflated because everybody was like, Kentucky can't play defense. It's going to be an absolute shootout. And it was basically a rock fight. And it flew under. So as soon as you think these games are flying over, watch out.
Yeah, 174. So that's a number maybe a little too high for you?
I will definitely stay away from the total, but I would assume that is by far the highest total on the board tonight.
Yeah. No, it is definitely. I went and looked as soon as I saw that Rothstein stat this morning.
Sanford's total against Furman's 165.
I think that's the second biggest one.
Yeah. That's going to be the only one in the neighborhood, really.
Yeah. So 174. So if you like some good offensive basketball, there is a chance that this is the game for you tonight.
Yeah, I mean, to put in perspective, the Ole Miss Mississippi State game in Starkville, that total is 142.5.
A little bit of a difference there.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit of a difference.
That's a big game for Mississippi State, by the way. A big game for both.
Yeah, I would agree completely with you. So tonight, Alabama taking on the Florida Gators over in Coleman, and we'll have that covered for you all night. I want to remind you about our friends with Urology Centers of Alabama. I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day whose father is battling prostate cancer. And that is very, very unfortunate. It looks like the good news is it is going to be a good outcome there. But you want to make sure you stay on top of that. And Precision are our friends with the Urology Centers of Alabama. If you can't tell, Dunaway normally does this one. Rockstar, is it obvious that Dunaway normally does this one?
You have derailed.
Have I? Rockstar, do you want to do it?
Yeah, get yourself checked, guys. It's always smart to get yourself checked.
Urology Centers of Alabama. UCLA has 35 urologists on hand, 16 locations across Alabama. Trudy, I like how I started.
Are you talking colon cancer?
No, I like how I'm talking Urology Centers of Alabama and prostate cancer. Why?
Well, I was just going to say
UCLA.
they also check colon cancer.
You said UCLA.
Did I?
Yeah.
Was that when I derailed?
Yeah.
Or was it when I started?
You just said UCLA.
No, I like the fact that I was given like this heartfelt. I just talked to a friend of mine whose dad has got he's got prostate cancer. It's gonna be okay. And then I started fumbling after that.
It's emotional, man. It's a spot.
UCA, 35 urologists on hand, 16 locations across Alabama. They treat all your urological needs from prostate health to kidney stones, and they take care of you. UrologyCentersofAlabama.com, UrologyCentersAlabama.com to schedule an appointment. UrologyCentersAlabama.com. My apologies to them. But I'm glad Scott at least put the graphic up so people could know where to go.
A lot of people probably don't care, but just looking at some different games around tonight, never thought we would see a 9-16 Notre Dame team taking on an 8-18 Louisville team.
Yeah, I will not see that, by the way.
But I was going to ask you, how do you think St. John's responds to their first game back after Rick Pitino's comments on that team? Because, they're a pretty heavy favorite playing Georgetown and D.C. tonight. But that could go either way. They could come out and they could be like, F you to Pitino, and they could play their asses off. Kind of like Calipari called his guys out defensively. They showed up and gave great effort for 40 minutes.
Or they could do it like I just did that last read.
Yeah,
and
or they could completely
40.
butcher it.
Yeah.
How do you think St. John's plays tonight?
I don't know. I've seen coaches try to get the attention of their team. That's not what that felt like at all.
No. It really felt like these guys suck.
Yep.
There's going to be a completely 100% flip of this roster in the offseason. I'm better than these guys. I deserve better than these guys. I think it's going to backfire on Pitino.
Yep.
I don't think it matters at this point. If they don't win the Big East tournament, which they got no shot at winning, they're not going to postseason anyway.
I would 100% agree with you. You just wonder how many how many of them in their head are already in the transfer portal because they know they're probably going to get cut, right? Now, that can play two ways. Like if I'm in the transfer portal, I want to go ball out. I want to put some good film down so people are watching me now. And
I want to get the hell out, right?
I want to get out, but I need to put some good film down too. I want to have something to show whatever school I want to go to.
Has any coach hurt their reputation more from where they were at a point? Like, I don't think anybody ever trusted Rick Pitino.
Are we going back to the booth at the Italian restaurant?
Yeah, you could just all-inclusive whorehouse, booth at the Italian restaurant, calling his players out. Obviously an incredible coach that won championships at both Kentucky and Louisville, but that was a guy that you would have wanted your kid to play for because they had a chance to win a championship and obviously get to the NBA. But where's his reputation now as a head coach?
Not great. Who was the rockstar? Do you remember the intern we had that was the big, tall dude who was a massive Kentucky fan?
Brooks?
Was it? Maybe. I don't know, but we gave him the quiz. We were giving him a Louisville.
I forgot. That was one of the ex-interns, right?
Yeah, we were giving him a Kentucky-Louisville quiz, and all we said was, what is the name of the Italian restaurant? And he said, Porcini's. Yeah. He didn't even let us finish the question.
He had big feet. I remember he clopped his shoes when he was answering
who
the phone.
was that kid?
I can't remember his name, but he was
his
massive.
Name was Brooks.
Massive. God, we had so many interns. I lose track of them. But I just never forget, he answered it before we even finished the question. A Kentucky fan who knew the name of the restaurant where Rick Pitino pulled that off. All right, more of the next round coming up. Rece Davis about 15 minutes away.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
Legacy Credit Union has the ultimate game changer for your finances. With Engaged Checking, you can earn 3% APY on balances up to $15,000. You heard correctly, 3% APY. But it's not just about scoring with high yields. With Engaged Checking, you can get paid up to 2 days early. That means your paycheck, Social Security, tax refund, you name it, you get it early. So stop sitting on the sidelines and get in the game with Engaged Checking. Sign up today at LegacyCreditUnion.com or visit any 9 Greater Birmingham area branches. APY is annual percentage yield. Terms and conditions may apply. See credit union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. Well, we're changing the game yet again. Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of The Next Round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
In the chat room right now, I know we often get asked. In fact, somebody brought it up yesterday. How do I get in the chat room? Well, you get in the chat room by watching us and participating on any of the video platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all in the chat room there. And as always, when you're on YouTube, make sure you've subscribed, set your alerts at Next Round Live, and give us a thumbs up. That helps us when you give us a thumbs up. Zach says, man, the hype for Florida on this show is crazy. Zach, of course, complains about everything. But, I mean,
Zach really does.
Complains about anything you say. Yeah. Like, if we got on here and say, Florida's not that good, he'd be like, oh, well, you're going to say it's a bad win.
3 straight and 7 of 8.
Yeah, so Zach complains about everything, but thinks we're overhyping Florida.
Florida is much better than I thought they were.
I would agree completely.
Yeah.
Nicholas says, take the over. Bama gets 100 tonight. Landmine Believer says Alabama has got 4 guys shooting better than 41% from 3. Did I see, I've not found the sound of this, I don't know if it was in the postgame or not, that Nate Oates, or it might have been in his weekly press conference, said that Reitzel is maybe the best 3-point shooter he's ever coached.
Well, I mean, he's 10 of 17 in his last 2 games.
Okay, so maybe
you
it's
can just see the confidence. You can see something in his eyes as each game passes. But when you've got, we talked about Sears earlier, and Reitzel and Griffin, I mean, you've got 3 legitimate guys that at any time can hit 4 or 5 threes in a game, and that's a huge difference maker.
Yeah. Reitzel obviously is a heck of a shooter, and he is shooting very well for Alabama last night. And again, when this team is shooting high, especially in Coleman Coliseum, we saw it, we gave you the stat the other day, in their last 30, they're 29-1 at Coleman.
Yeah,
it's going to be hard to beat
We've
them.
talked about that secret sauce, that number 40% plus from behind the arc. They are 13-2 when they hit 40% plus. I just saw a little video on the Harlem Globetrotters.
Okay.
What has lost more of the sizzle and kind of the impact than the Globetrotters. I don't know about you, but as a kid, the Globetrotters was a huge deal.
And I saw them one time. They came to Jacksonville State, and
They were on Gilligan's Island, weren't they?
Oh, they were on Scooby-Doo more than
Scooby-Doo?
anything, yeah. I saw them at Jacksonville State when I was a little kid once, and it was an entertaining show as a kid. Like, I loved every minute of it. Now, I don't know that it was the old Meadowlark Lemon Curly Neal. I think Curly Neal was...
First time I saw him was Meadowlark and Curly Neal.
There's one of those two stuck with him for a very, very long time, though, and it became like Curly Neal and the Harlem
Yeah, I forgot who the guy is now. It was right when COVID was hitting, and I'll never forget it was, I took Jack to see him at Sanford, and this was when Bill O'Brien was up 24-0 on the Chiefs. It was that same day, that same game.
Yep.
But the only thing I can think of that is not as... that was kind of like one of the wonders of the world back in the day was kind of the NASA space program. Seems like they've lost a lot of steam, kind of like...
So you're saying NASA's space program and the Harlem Globetrotters?
I mean, when I was a kid,
lost steam at the same
NASA
time.
was a bigger deal. Like, I watched that. Have you seen the Challenger documentary on Netflix?
Oh, I have not.
Yeah.
Well, boy, that was a seminal moment of my childhood. Though.
It was. I can't believe how on board we are with the space shuttle program. Like, anybody's going to be able to go to space, and we're just going to cruise around. And it's so easy to go to space. We're going to send a teacher.
Yeah.
And boy, they completely shit the bed on that whole situation. I mean, NASA, the engineers, if you watch it play out, they were 1,000% to blame for that disaster.
It was an O-ring, right? I mean,
Yep.
do they go back in the history of all those things?
Yeah, and the O-ring could just not, the temperature changed. Like, they told them based on the forecast, it was way too cold. They shouldn't have actually launched that morning. But it's a really interesting watch. Has anybody in the back room seen the Challenger 4-part documentary series on Netflix?
I have not.
It's worth a watch.
I got your Harlem Globetrotters roster up here. The current roster.
Well, I mean, you're not going to. Good Lord, how many people do they have, Rockstar?
You got
they got Whale Middleton.
You got Hot Shot Swanson. He was born to do this.
He really was. When his mom named him Hot Shot.
I think they have females and they have little people because I think Exover Tompkins is a little.
He
person.
does appear to be that. He's a guard though. He's playing the point.
I think it's like Blue Man Group where you get like 5. I mean, there's so many of them they can't all.
Well, the worst is they've got to have like these tricky names.
Yeah,
you don't think these are birth names?
Well, I just wonder, like, if some of these guys played in college and we just don't remember them because they've changed their name.
Dazzle Kid on?
No,
Yeah.
I don't remember any of these guys.
Dazzle Kid on, by the way, he stands out in this group.
Yeah.
He's got 2 balls.
No. That's not what makes him stand out.
Dazzle's a Matt McClung.
Yeah.
I mean, Dazzle looks like he's like 5'9", 5'10".
Like,
Diesel
Good
Kirkendall.
Grief, Rockstar. Keep. How many people do they have? How do they pay this many people?
You know what it's got to be? There's no way all travel together.
Oh, there's no way.
I bet the Globetrotters
Bull.
today, they've got a group in D.C. and they've got a group in Wichita.
Al Clocker is the coach?
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know they had a
He's
coach.
legend.
See, 2 mascots, they've got to be all... So Globey's got to be when they're international, right?
Yeah, I would think so. And Big G's at home?
I would guess.
Who are their assistants, Rockstar? Let's see if we've heard of any of them. Sweet Lou Dunbar. Oh, he used to be Globetrotter, right?
Yep.
Anders Franklin, Scooter Christensen, and Barry Hardy. Oh, he's the
Barry
VP.
Hardy looks like he's got secrets.
He's the VP of player and tour personnel.
It's a lot of personnel.
It is.
I'll tell you, they put on a good show when we went.
No. As a kid, I loved it.
Still do some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I remember they had the bucket and everybody thought it was full of water and they were going to throw it on a guy on the baseline and it's just got confetti in it. That was their running joke right there. Everybody loved that one. God, that is. John says they've got 2 squads. Look like way more than 2 squads.
Got to be 2 squads. Leaf Blower's right. Peak 2024. Globetrotters have a midget and a white guy.
They do.
Multiple chicks.
They got the one white guy. That's what makes him stand out. Rusty's like, what makes him stand out, Brad? He's white. He's the one white guy. So
yeah, right.
That was pretty obvious. Dr. B is the one that helped Lance grow his hair back. Tell him about Dr. B, LT.
Yeah, again, 3 times a week I do the non-invasive treatment, 30 minutes each time on the couch. That is it. My hair, there's more than doubled in thickness since I went to see Dr. Beckenstein. Make the phone call that I did. Schedule that consultation today, 205-319-0316. Dr. B also offering that Sensus Transdermal Infuser. This enables Dr. B to get various medicines and therapies into the scalp where the hair follicles are without using any injections. This is revolutionary as Dr. B can pinpoint delivery of a patient's genetically specific products without any needles. T3hair.net, 205-319-0316. Make sure you tell Dr. B and that great staff the guys from the next round sent you.
Rice is also at UAB tonight. UAB an 11.5-point favorite at mybookie.ag, 7 on ESPN Plus if you want to watch that one. Sneaky good game tonight. Because we've talked about how many teams the Mountain West may have in this tournament. I've seen as many as 6 at any given time that they've got in this tournament.
This should not be a sneaky good game.
It is a sneaky good game. It is Colorado. Why do you say it should not be? Colorado State is 22.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Rice and UAB.
No. Colorado State and New Mexico.
Oh, yeah. No.
Colorado State's 22nd in the country. New Mexico is hosting them. They are a 7-point favorite.
Yeah, both 21 teams right now, and this is that deep Mountain West that we've talked about, possibly 6 at large. But New Mexico, as most teams in college basketball, really good at home. And Colorado State, although they're ranked, only 3-5 on the road. But yes, that is a really good game. It seems like we get one night in, night out in the Mountain West.
There's no way 6 teams from the Mountain West are going to make it. You don't think that, do you?
I think they could.
You think so?
Let's go through it. I mean, you've got 2 that played last night in
I'll just give you where they are in the net.
Nevada and San Diego State.
I know we like Ken Palm, but they built from the net.
Colorado State, New Mexico.
All right. San Diego State is 18 in the net, easy in for them. And I think they've got a little cachet, by the way, from what they did last year. Obviously, yeah. New Mexico is 23rd in the net, easy in. Colorado State, 25 in the net, easy in. Utah State, 30 in the net.
I think they're easy in.
Okay, that's 4. Boise State, 35th in the net.
That's where it starts getting tricky.
It does.
I think, what is Boise's record right now?
They are 18-8, 9-4 in conference. 18-8 is...
I think that conference is getting so much respect now. I think they're in.
Nevada is your last one that is under consideration. 43rd in the net. They're 21-6, 8-5 in conference.
8-5 in that conference, 21 wins. They could end up with 25 wins.
Yeah, they could have 25 wins.
Yeah, I think they're in. I think they get 6.
Okay. Boy, that is a lot from the Mountain West,
really
isn't it?
I mean, when they could double up the ACC
that's
possibly.
what I was about to say.
I mean, I think the ACC gets 4.
That's what we're just talking about. A lot from the Mountain West, but the ACC is going to get North Carolina, Duke, Wake, and Clemson. That's going to be it for them, right? I mean, Virginia is not an NCAA tournament team right now, I don't think.
Bad loss Monday night. Yeah. But Virginia could play their way right back into it.
Yeah, but that's where the line ends right there. Yeah. They're with 5. But now then you've got the SEC and the Big 12. They're going to get 9 teams in a piece. I mean, that's going to eat up a ton of the field.
Yep.
Just those, what is it, 32 at-large teams you end up with? Is that right?
Is it 32?
It's 32 or 34 or whatever. I mean, think about that. Yeah. 18 of those, well, you have 2 conference champions that are automatic, so 16 of those.
You assume a lot of these at-large are going to be conference champions, too.
Well, there's 2 of them from the Big 12 and the SEC, though. That's my point. So you got 16 at-large spots that are going to come potentially from the SEC and the Big 12. That is a significant amount. All right, Rece Davis is going to join us on the other side after Lance tells us about our buddy C. Stu and Gutter Cap.
Cap it, don't snap it. The last thing you want to do is get on the dangerous roof, do that dirty job of cleaning the gutters again. You slip, you fall, you snap the neck and die. You're no good to the wife or kids. Do what I did years and years ago. Call 205-823-2212. C-Stu will come out, give you an absolutely free estimate. You've got nothing to lose. Find out if Gutter Cap is right for you. They will come out, install that patented aluminum cover system over most existing gutters. You will never clean the gutters again. Back with a lifetime warranty. 205-823-2212 or GutterCap.Birmingham.com.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239 Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with a TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, we start a new hour. Along with Lance Taylor, I'm Ryan Brown. Dunaway, a little bit under the weather. He'll be back with us hopefully soon. Rockstar producing the show, the entire crew here today. We'll be headed over to Coleman tonight for Florida-Alabama, the only top 25 matchup in the country. Rece Davis is the host of ESPN's Game Day on both the football and basketball side. He joins us now on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. What is up, Rece? How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing today?
Doing fantastic. Thanks a lot. Let's start with where you were last Saturday, Neville Arena. Your colleague Jay Billis came on with us before your guys' show there. And he told us, and this is high praise coming from Jay, it was like, you know, in a lot of ways, this is louder than Cameron Indoor. And that's a place where Jay has spent a lot of time is Cameron Indoor. Kentucky handled it well, but Neville Arena has gotten a reputation as one of the most difficult places in America to play.
There's no question about it. It's a great atmosphere for basketball. The job that Bruce has done, not only from building a team, which you knew he could do, but he's such a dynamic, charismatic personality that he has generated some sustained enthusiasm for Auburn basketball. And they pride themselves on making it a difficult place to play. They stay behind their team, and it is a tremendous environment. I mean, who would have thought this is our 20th season on the road? Who would have thought that for 4 consecutive seasons, omitting the year, you know, that we couldn't travel because of the restrictions and so forth, that we would have been at Auburn 4 straight years or 4 straight seasons when we're traveling. And that's just a testament, I think, to the job that they've done, the excellent program they've built. And they've, you know, they didn't play their best on Saturday night, but Kentucky had a ton to do with that. Kentucky did play close to its best, and they're not even full strength yet. So those were 2 really good teams, and you know Auburn's got a lot to look forward to, I think, with the rest of the regular season and certainly into the NCAA tournament.
You know, Rece, we've talked about this before. When Wimp and Sonny were Alabama and Auburn's head coaches, I mean, basketball was great, but we've never seen kind of a moment in time you're getting right now with Bruce and Nate. But if I asked you the difficult question, obviously these teams split in the regular season this year. Who is the best team in the state right now?
I don't know. I mean, I would love to answer that question, but I don't know the answer to it. Alabama is better offensively, and Auburn is better defensively. So I think it's just a matter of how the game is played and who can sort of impose their will on the other. There are few teams, if any, in the country that are better than Alabama offensively. But, they have some issues rebounding and defending at the rim. Auburn is certainly, the numbers say that they are an efficient offensive team, and they are, but they can get stuck. But they play really hard. They rebound and defend, and they make things difficult on opposing offenses. That's why I was so impressed with what Kentucky did. So I don't know that you can say, they each won on their home court. Certainly Auburn pulled away at home, and that's an advantage in their column. But, we'll see, if they were to meet again, maybe the rubber match will determine that if they were to meet in the SEC or even the NCAA tournament.
Rece Davis is with us, College Game Day. I will point out Rece does not select the sites for College Game Day because people are wanting us to ask Rece if they will be in Tuscaloosa for the Alabama-Tennessee game.
I have some say in it, though. I don't want to sell myself short. I have some say. To be honest, a little more so, and not that we decide. Ultimately, it's a collective decision. But ultimately, I think that some of the input is a little stronger in football, just to be honest, because the regular season in basketball is a different animal. But, we're stepping outside the norm this week by going to UConn, which is not a game that's on the ESPN platforms. I certainly can't say we haven't made a final decision, but I would say that a trip to Tuscaloosa is something that's certainly attractive and very high on the board at this point. So I can't say, but I would just encourage people, not to book their calendars too early on Saturday prior to the game. It leaves some room for perhaps a really nice event that might unfold there should certain things fall a certain way.
Wow.
Is that veiled enough for you?
Yeah, a little bait in the water right there.
Yeah, I do feel like you guys will be in Tuscaloosa for that game.
Lance.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I did not say that, but I didn't say that.
So last year we obviously had San Diego State, Florida Atlantic in the Final Four, but going into last night, people are like, UConn is repeating. This is going to be the first repeat champion since we saw Florida in the mid-2000s, and they get walked off the court last night by a Creighton team that just could not miss beyond the arc. Does this seem like, although you've got these top-heavy teams like Purdue and Houston and UConn and Arizona, does it seem like a year going into this tournament where realistically 15 to 20 teams could be Final Four and 10 to 12 could win this thing?
Yes, sort of, but I'm of the opinion, and I watched the game last night, and basketball teams are going to lose, particularly against a really good team who played really well in an extraordinarily hostile environment. That's one of the great arenas that you'll see. I haven't had a chance to be there in person before. I would love to go to Creighton. I've watched tons on television, and it is always dynamic. I'm not bothered in the least that UConn lost last night. UConn's the best team. Everybody talks about UConn and Purdue being a cut above everybody. UConn's a cut above Purdue, in my judgment. And they're a cut above that group of Houston, Purdue, and Arizona, and maybe Tennessee works its way in there, maybe somebody else as well. I think UConn's the best team, and if, not that I'm a gambling man, and anybody can lose. Anybody can step on a rake and hit themselves in the face, particularly in the NCAA tournament. We've seen it time and time again. But I'd pick UConn to win the national championship right now. They've got a better team. They've got a more versatile team. They've got something. They've got something for everybody. They've got a 7'2" giant from Bristol protecting the middle. They've got Newton. They've got Spencer. They've got Caravan. They just got. They have to help you. They didn't play their best last night. So if you're going to beat UConn, they've got to help you a little bit. So I still believe UConn is the prohibitive favorite. But I would agree with your premise that nobody's unbeatable, even UConn. But I would say beyond that, your numbers are about right, because it's going to be how the game's played. Are you hot that night? Do you get the wrong guy in foul trouble? Does the wrong guy twist his ankle at the wrong time? There's a lot of I hate to use the word parity, but there's a lot of similarity among all of that. 12 to 15, 16 teams below UConn, in my judgment. And UConn is a cut above, but not so far and away ahead of everyone that they're invincible.
Rece Davis with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Is this Purdue team, do we make too much of the fact that they have been an earlier than expected exit in the NCAA, or is that a real thing, and is this team built differently to avoid that?
Well, Billis and I disagree on this because he rolls his eyes at me. I've got to see it.
I agree. Yeah,
because I believe they're excellent, and I love Painter and had a chance to call a couple of their games a couple years back before we didn't have a contract with the Big Ten. I'm very fond of Matt and the program. I think they're an excellent program, but I believe in I guess institutional culture. And while they have a great culture of basketball, like a tremendous one, when you have had the number of high-profile failures on that stage that they have had, I think it creeps into your subconscious. So how do you exercise that demon? You continue to win, and you answer a challenge against a good team. If they get challenged by a 16 or a 9 in the second round and they fight it off and win, I don't believe that exercises the demon. But you let them get a really good 4. If somebody that said, hey, that's a 4, like UConn was last year, you get a really good team, they get challenged and they answer it, or they blow them out. That type of thing can get you over the hump. So I believe Purdue needs something mentally that happened on the court that they can't prepare for, that they just have to execute when the time comes. If they can get over that mental hump, they're certainly good enough to win it. But that mental hump has been so extraordinary for a multitude of seasons. I believe there's something to it. And, a lot of people scoff at that, but I believe in that, and I think they have to get past it.
From your days as an undergrad in Tuscaloosa, you always wanted to do what you're doing right now. I'm sure there are days you wake up and your career's surreal. You've got a new colleague in Nick Saban. Did you ever imagine a day when you were covering Nick Saban that you would be sitting beside him on campus every Saturday throughout the fall? I mean, what's this going to be like for you?
I'm really looking forward to it because, as you guys know better than anyone, seeing him, virtually every day for the last 17 years, he not only is the greatest coach in the history of college football, he is an extraordinarily gifted communicator, whether that's sitting on a panel with us, if you want to call it that, a group, a desk, whether that is, delivering a speech to a group of business leaders, whether that is sitting down for a one-on-one interview. He is a remarkably gifted communicator. He's also a guy who wants to excel at everything he does. So I think he's already proven to be in the various times that we've had him on during the rare playoff occasions when they haven't been in it. He's shown himself to be very good at television. He's going to be awesome. I guess I hope it's okay with him that I share this. A couple of years ago, this has come up from time to time. It's been in books. It's been out there. People know that he has thought about this idea from time to time. And at the risk of making your Auburn audience upset, I said to him at one point, I said, the alumnus in me would prefer that you coach at Alabama forever. I said, but the college game day host in me prefers that you join our show yesterday because I think he could add that much to it. So I said to him, if and when the time comes, I'm always available to you to help with that transition if I can be of help. And so I'm really excited about him coming aboard because I think it gives the show yet another layer that will be really, really beneficial to it. And he's already preparing for the NFL draft, like you would expect Nick Saban to prepare. And then we look forward certainly to getting him out on the road. It's going to be a lot of fun. But to answer your question, did I expect it? A few years ago, I thought it was going to happen. It didn't, and I guess it was a couple years ago I decided, well, you know what? He can't give it up, and I respect that, and good for him. So it did actually surprise me when he made the decision to join us, and not to join us after he retired. When he made the decision to retire, that surprised me. So I'm really looking forward to having him, and I think it's going to be great for the show.
We're already putting you in Tuscaloosa next Saturday. I'll put you in Tuscaloosa again September 28th.
I didn't say that.
I know. I said we are. I said we are, not Reese. We are. Oh, okay. But Saturday, September 28th, I got a feeling you might be there again with Alabama and Georgia. That's going to be a wild scene, though, with him on set back in Tuscaloosa with all, his trusted former assistant against his replacement. I mean, that'll be an interesting situation for him, I would imagine.
There will be storylines that I'm sure that there will be for a guy who really handles his emotions probably better than virtually any coach you've seen in the public eye. I'm sure that will be difficult for him, or it won't be easy. There'll probably also be an aspect to it that's somewhat gratifying, because I'm sure he will get a raucous welcome from that. So there will be some firsts along the way for him that will be unusual. I noticed he had a meeting with some people in the media the other day where he mentioned the idea of picking games.
Yeah,
that's something that is different for him, and I think hopefully he'll come to get comfortable with that, because he won't be the first guy. There were a lot of guys even that weren't former coaches that I've worked with, former players and just analysts who used to recoil a little bit about picking games as if it were personal. And I know that coaches use it, but I mean, it's part of the deal. It's part of the fun, right? I mean, this is supposed to be fun, and it's not the end of the world if you miss one. And if you go with a gut feeling and you're wrong, it's okay. Or if you go with a purely technical breakdown and you're wrong, it happens. So I think he'll get comfortable with that as time goes along. But that is certainly a change for, I think, any coach who makes the move into a show like ours.
So you facilitate the pick segment. You don't necessarily make picks, but how often do Desmond and Herbie and McAfee and Coach hear back from like next time you're in town? Like, I know you guys picked against me. I mean, do you all hear a lot of that?
Are you kidding? I mean, all the time. I mean, it's like you do. It's like you do all of these great features. You do all of these great breakdowns. You do, all of this insightful analysis. You spend hours on the tape, and you say, you know what? I got a gut feeling old Sparty's going to get them today. And then they get beat, 42-7, and then whoever you picked against them, you guys picked against us. You beat us. I mean, it's. It can be frustrating until you just realize, what, the unadulterated passion that fans have for their teams, and they want you to feel about their team the way they feel about their team. That's what makes it fun. So you some of the stuff when they start yelling at you about that, or hitting you on, various social media platforms, you let it roll, man. It's not a big deal.
Hey, wrapping up here, Rece, when the announcement was, made that Nick Saban was shutting it down and he was leaving, there were some of us on the show that were like, Kalen DeBoer is a home run guy. This is the guy Greg Byrne needs to go after. They ultimately hire Kalen DeBoer, and you get a lot of the fan bases, which you're going to get this, like, this guy doesn't know the South. You get some reservation from Alabama fans. We don't know exactly who this guy is. You've been around Kalen DeBoer. You guys were in Seattle this year. What are they getting with Kalen DeBoer?
They're getting a guy who's just flat won everywhere he's been, a guy who is personable, and at least I've just gotten to know Kalen a little bit, over the past season with Washington being at the forefront. And as you mentioned, our trip to Seattle, he's a guy who relates to people easily. He's a guy who builds a great deal of loyalty among his players, and I think in turn with the fan base. So it'll take some time, and it is true that he hasn't been in the South, but no one is ever going to live up to what Nick Saban established, no matter who you are. Especially when you consider where Alabama was when he came in and took it over. But if you're going to find the next coach after Nick Saban, why in the world would you not get a guy that's 104-12 or whatever he is, with 3 national championships, and in 2 years took Washington to the national championship game? And while I think Michigan was clearly the better team, maybe a couple balls here and there bounce a different way, maybe they're right in that game till the end. So I don't think you could have found a better resume to step in there. And also, I think the number one thing you would want in that situation is you want a guy who embraces it and doesn't shy away from it and is not intimidated by the standard that has been set. And I think Kalen epitomizes all of that beautifully. So I think they're in really good hands. There's no guarantee with any coach. Heck, I remember a lot of people in our business, saying Nick Saban would be there 3 years and back to the NFL, or he's going to Texas, or Alabama was never going to be what it was, and their fans were delusional, and all of these people who said that a whole lot, who are still on various airwaves talking, they were wrong. So, you never know how things are going to go. And certainly there's no guarantee that Kalen is going to be wildly successful. But if I were to bet one way or the other, I would bet that he is going to be wildly successful. because his track record indicates that he always has been. And there's not much reason to think things would change when he's at a place with even greater resources than any place he's ever been.
All right, see Rece and the crew Saturday morning from Storrs, Connecticut, Villanova, Yukon. The Huskies coming off the loss last night to Creighton, and then we'll see where they are on the 2nd, March 2nd. It'll be a great mystery. Rece and the gang will unveil it at some point. Rece, thank you very much for the time. Always great talking with you.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, buddy. Take care. Rece with us on the Johnston RVCenter.com hotline. Don't forget, we're going to be out Saturday with Johnston RV Center down at the BJCC. The RV show coming to the BJCC will be there. RV show pricing all month long on the lot there. Exit 304 off I-65 in Coleman. And you can RSVP and get even more in savings, up to $1,000 in incentives when you RSVP by going to johnstonrvcenter.com/TNR. That is johnstonrvcenter.com/TNR. And you can RSVP right now and get up to $1,000 in extra incentives. Johnston RV Center, I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Always online, johnstonrvcenter.com. I was going to kind of end the interview kidding Rece about that, but so many people were in the chat room saying, ask if they're coming to the Tennessee game, ask if they're coming to the Tennessee game. It's a pretty obvious game. I haven't looked at the rest of the college basketball slate that day, but you got Bama, Tennessee. If Alabama can beat Florida tonight, who knows what they do against Kentucky, but there's a chance the SEC has decided that day.
Look, we talked about this, I guess it was last week. And with Tennessee able to come back in the second half against Missouri, we'll see what Alabama does tonight against Florida. I would agree with you. I'm looking Kansas at
Kansas
Baylor.
At Baylor. That's a pretty big one.
That's a really big one.
Marquette at Creighton, but again, that's a Fox game. So as Rece said, they're not just going to go. They're going to a Fox game this week, obviously, but they're not going to do that every week.
Yeah, Kansas Baylor's ABC, so they could go straight into that 11 o'clock tip.
Yeah, and Tennessee Bama is that night on ESPN. So I don't know. It wouldn't blow me away. It's a place they've never been, really.
Yeah.
They've been to Baylor before.
And I'm trying to think how many, if you did the breakdown, they've been more Big 12 this year, right?
Maybe so. So, you can make a case for either one of those, Kansas at Baylor or Tennessee at Alabama.
You feel really good it's going to be one of the two, though.
Yeah, I would think so. And sometimes I wonder, too, Lance, if they go to a place where if you go to a place where you haven't been or you infrequently go, you sometimes get a better crowd. Let's just be honest about it. College Game Day has been to Tuscaloosa so much, you don't get the same fervent crowd in Tuscaloosa that you might if they go to a place for the first time ever, You see what I'm saying? If they go to Manhattan, Kansas. They really go there.
But obviously, if it comes down to these two. Now, look, one game to look at, what South Carolina do over the next 2 weeks? What does Florida do over the next 2 weeks? Because that's an 11 o'clock ESPN game in Columbia.
Yeah. They've got some interesting options. Good for them.
I would think that your top two are Tuscaloosa or Waco, but I think they've been to Waco a little more than they've been to Tuscaloosa.
Now, the one I would absolutely bet on was the other one we brought up was the football against Georgia. I don't see a scenario. Even if Alabama loses at Wisconsin, it's still one-loss Alabama against what will be number one Georgia. Unless somebody pulls the upset on Georgia, it'd have to be Clemson or Kentucky. I just don't see how that is not undefeated versus undefeated, and number one versus, Alabama's probably in the top 5 or 6 at that point. It's top 10 matchup. They're going to be at Alabama.
They'll be at that game.
Too many storylines not to, especially with Saban on the desk. Can you imagine that?
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think, Nick Saban, he said it the other day, I'm always going to pick Alabama. But if he turned heel and picked Georgia on that set, that'd be one of the greatest. Is Lunsford back there? What is the greatest heel turn of all time in wrestling, Lunsford? Is it Hulk Hogan going to the NWO?
Yes.
If Nick Saban picked Georgia on the game day desk, would that be a better heel turn than Hulk Hogan going NWO?
For us, sure, but in general, no.
Okay.
Because Nick Saban's a professional that can be like, look, I think Georgia's a better team.
Oh, people would
he can think that is mine. People get mad. But
people will get pissed.
As an Alabama fan, I would respect him for just saying what their real football opinion is.
Yeah, I'll stick to this. Outside of, even in front of Dale Murphy, I think Chipper Jones is the most beloved Brave of all time. And when he picked the Dodgers against the Braves a few years
you brought
ago,
that up, yeah.
Braves fans were super pissed.
And that was just like on Atlanta radio. He was just doing like a spot on Atlanta radio.
Yeah, you do this on game day right before, that would be a big deal. I would think even if Saban believes Georgia's going to win the game, I think he probably still takes Alabama.
G. Curbo disagrees with you. He said Austin joining McMahon at WrestleMania 17.
That was epic.
No.
I don't think so either.
Well, I tell you what, you don't want to be joining McMahon right now. Kind of hit a tough spot there, right?
That'd be a heel turn.
No,
it had to be a heel
when
turn.
we,
You're right.
turn.
Yeah, you're right.
We sat down a couple of weeks ago at World of Wheels with Mick Foley, and he looked at me and he said, "I'm not answering any McMahon questions."
Did you have any?
Well, he's right here.
Did you? Yeah. Do I have a surprise for you? Did you have any on the list?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not.
Tonight, what you doing, Lance?
Tonight, Rockstar's Wednesday. That means
Trivia.
Odie's team trivia every single Wednesday night. Make sure you come out, see us if you've never been before. It's a lot of fun. If you've been, you know exactly what we're talking about. Get there a little early. Enjoy the great food from Rece Davis. He's been doing it for more than 3 decades. Award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches, including my personal favorite, the Diablo sandwich. Get in and see Will Haver, that great staff. The location we'll be at tonight, the original and Crestline, the newest location, right there in Homewood, the corner of Oxmoor and Broadway. It is Odie's Tavern.
G. Curbo says he's going to be there after the Sanford game tonight.
Come say hey, G. Curbo.
Richard says McAfee turning on Georgia before the SEC championship was the top moment for game day. That was pretty well played by him. You know, they're in, because the weather sucks so bad over in Atlanta for the championship game, they're inside the World Congress Center, tons of Georgia fans, and he does the, what's that coming down the track? The Georgia fans are eating it up. He goes, well, that said, I'm picking Alabama.
Did he have a tank top on?
He did not. He does not wear the tank top on game day. He wears the big belt buckle, though. Do you hate the big belt buckle?
You know, to each their own, right?
Yeah, you just don't like the tank top.
I mean, I don't mind the tank top. It's an interesting look.
It's just his look, right?
I mean, he wore it when he was in studio with us,
He
right?
did. I do remember that day. I remember that day. All right, 4 downs when we come back. Do we have any good celebrity birthdays today?
We have only one celebrity birthday.
I mean, just a disappointment after
Jennifer
yesterday.
Love Hewitt, it's her birthday, but she didn't make the cut.
It's the story of her life for the past 10 years.
Better career, Jennifer Love Hewitt or Kirk Ferentz?
When did Jennifer Love Hewitt look her best, though? I mean, it was a movie I never saw with Sigourney Weaver.
Can't Hardly Wait, and she was in that movie. Sigourney Weaver looked great in that film for her age. What was that called?
Heartbreakers?
Yeah.
Yeah. I never watched Party of Five.
Can't Hardly Wait. All the I Know What You Did this last summer.
That was probably her top.
Yeah, but I mean, my question, better career, Jennifer Love Hewitt or Kirk Ferentz?
Kirk Ferentz.
Okay. What made you think that?
I mean, being a hot 25-year-old in Hollywood, not difficult to get on these teen comedies. But winning in Iowa City in the Big Ten is tough.
She would wear a tank top too, Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah,
she was not afraid of that tank top.
I'll never forget. She did a little 50 Cent in the Club. Go Shorty, it's your birthday before a ESPN NFL Countdown.
Right.
And I remember like Chris Berman and Tom Jackson, those, whoa, did you see that? And just basically eye-banging her for 30 minutes.
All right, so we'll do 4 downs when we come back. Some good celebrity, or one good celebrity birthday. That's next on the next round.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by, ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of NextRoundLive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
We continue on the next round about to hit the phones. A reminder, Way to Wellness. That's who saved Dunaway's life. And if you think that's an overstatement, I mean, some of his numbers had gotten out of whack. He'll tell you that. And he went to see Leslie and the gang at Way to Wellness, and they came up with a plan for him. That's the name of the website, aplanforme.com. This is not some cookie-cutter plan that they just put everybody under the same plan. Aplanforme.com, that is Way to Wellness. And you're not just thrown out and doing it by yourself. You're working with a board-certified professional. All right, that's who oversees your program, and it's designed specifically for you. The good news, no contract, no sign-up fees, free consultation. Just visit the website and get started today at planforme.com. Tell them you want a plan just like Dunaway has. Aplanforme.com with Way to Wellness. Let's go to Jeff and Anniston. He's next with us on the next round. What's up, Jeff?
What's up, Funky Bunch?
How you doing?
All right. Gee, about 2 silkworms that had a race that ended in a tie. But, yeah.
Wow, that's terrible.
Yeah, that's a Gary the Gator one there.
Hey!
This ain't nothing, but I read this. I thought it was pretty interesting. Did y'all know that there were 58,000 deaths per year in India from snake bites?
58,000 deaths?
I don't believe
from
that.
snake bites. That's a lot.
They got 1 billion people.
It's the truth.
But that's a lot, Jeff.
I am going to try to fact check you on that.
Right.
On average, since 2000, that's the amount of deaths they've had, 58,000.
Well, do they have a lot of snake charmers there?
Well, it's a Russell Viper that kills like almost half of them, like 20,000.
Damn, so
And
right
they
when
just
you
don't
step
have the
on that, you're
vaccine.
like, oh, shit.
It's over. Yeah, they don't have the a lot of it's out in the country, and there's no vaccines and stuff. They get bit, it's over.
Here you go, Jeff. According to a 2020 study, an average of nearly 58,000 Indian citizens die each year due to snake bites. Experts say the actual numbers are likely higher because of the old unreported cases.
Wow.
Damn.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah,
I know it.
that's no bueno.
I think like 4 or 5 in the U.S. And Australia is only like 1 a year, I think, or something like that. It's pretty wild. You'd think it'd be a lot more.
Yeah, because, I guess you can die from so many things in Australia, but they've got that brown snake.
I guess there's just not many folks out there, and they got better medicine. And no matter how many years pass, in the back of Luke Skywalker's mind, whenever he saw Leia, he had to think, I kissed my sister for a good bit, and I didn't hate it.
She won't even acknowledge it. There was a spark there. There was.
But yeah, of course. She kept going back to the well. Which got me curious. Which do you think would be a more brain-scarring event for a young teen to see? Their parents having sex with each other or by themselves?
With each other, because you've only got the visual of one.
That's true. Each other covers both.
Yeah.
Ugh, yeah, but man,
Either way.
Kids could relate to dad a little bit more, I guess.
Either way, you're not unseeing that.
Yeah,
we don't even think about mom, do we, by ourselves?
I can't really recall. Very weird topic, but I can't recall any of my friends walking in on parents, or at least I never heard the story of it.
I've got a friend that it happened to.
He had kids walk in on him?
A kid walk in on him, yeah.
Has he ever heard of they lock the old door?
Yeah, I think he did after that.
Okay, I know LT touched on this with Rece, but I got a reason I want to ask anyway. What do y'all think the lowest number of teams to win a national championship in college basketball that you would have to be 99% sure would win the national championship?
Boy, I would not have had San Diego State in that, and not that they won it last year.
Right.
Yeah, but they got close enough, it would have scared you, and you'd have never put them in.
I think I could get within 12. I feel pretty good 12.
12?
Yeah.
I know you said 10 to 12 a minute ago. The reason I asked is I'm going to ask this again right after the conference championships, and I bet you that number is about half. Just might not be, but I'm betting.
You mean you think about 6?
Yeah, I think when we get through watching the conference championships, that's going to narrow it down. You're going to be like, no, there's no way.
I mean, just really on the fly, UConn, Houston, Purdue, Arizona, Tennessee. I mean, that is 5. And then you throw like Kansas and North Carolina. I mean, I just don't know how you admit any of those right there.
Well, yeah, but then you have to start looking at, how they've done it for 6-game stretches. And I don't know. We'll see. I just an interesting little test for myself I wanted to do. All right. If you're starting an NBA team and you can pick any player right now and had 5 years guaranteed, who you take?
I think I still might go Giannis.
Yeah. I know you said the 5 years guaranteed, so I can include some older guys.
But I mean, if MB could stay healthy, but Gilgeous Alexander is really good. And, that's been one of those teams in Oak City that nobody talks about that is so good this year.
And you haven't got the Jokic or Doncic yet.
Boy, there are so many young, talented guys in the NBA.
There he is. That's why
Halliburton's a stud for the Pacers.
Yeah. I'd probably still go Jokic, but it'd be tough. All right, how about in baseball?
Boy, if Otani could actually throw now.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I still may take him. He can only not throw for 1 year. It's not just 1 year. I get him in the field. Yeah, I'd take him.
All right.
Yeah, Troy's right, man. Let me pull back. Wembanyama. I mean,
that's who I picked for you. Yeah. I wrote down who I thought you would take. I figured you, Wembanyama, and I thought Brown would take Jokic.
Well, I don't talk about Wemby just because the Spurs are so bad, but I said it a couple of weeks ago. The guy's going to win a championship because the organization is that good. I don't know if Pop will be around to see it, but that kid can do absolutely everything. If he can stay healthy, that's always a big if with these guys.
All right. How about NFL besides quarterback?
Besides quarterback, Micah Parsons, maybe.
I mean,
Von Miller.
Can I get 5 more years out of Tyreek?
I thought Tyreek too, Brown.
Yeah. I mean, that guy
changes an offense.
There's no doubt he is a game changer. He's as feared as anybody on the field.
And speaking of Tyreek, and y'all might have asked this before in 4 Down or something, what happens next? Championship for Miami Hurricanes or Dolphins?
Well, I'd take the Dolphins. And I know I'm not the least bit unbiased in this, but the Dolphins have been far closer than the Hurricanes.
Yeah, I would take the Dolphins. I wouldn't feel good about it.
Dolphins have been to the playoffs back-to-back years. When's the last time Miami has been anywhere close to it?
Yeah, but if you were to tell me that Tua is going to be healthy next year, I think they get back to the postseason. You get hot at the right time. Things can happen.
Get to stay in Miami. That'd be a key.
Well, they're going to need a 1 seed.
Okay, so let me flip it on you, Jeff. If I asked you next year, what would be more surprising? The Hurricanes actually get to a 12-team playoff or the Dolphins get to a Super Bowl?
I'd say Dolphins to the Super Bowl.
I mean, I'd still be surprised if the Hurricanes getting to playoff because they're probably going to have to be the ACC champion to do it. They got to win their conference to do it in all likelihood.
I just saw Florida State do it. Florida State's going to take probably a step back. Yeah. I don't have any confidence in Clemson where they are right now. So.
I know, but I just can't picture unless Miami can get number 1 seed. I can't see them going cold weather.
No,
and doing
it's tough. You're right. When they got to go cold weather, it's bad news.
Right. And this ain't to y'all, but to all them people that say Caden Clark's about to pass Pete Maravich's record or Gino Auriemma passed Coach Krzyzewski. Please stop.
Yeah,
that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's different sports. Yeah.
You're making yourself look stupid. I want to ask you, what happened to you don't think what has happened to Santiago Vescovi for Tennessee this year?
That's a great question.
He's like almost just a non-entity out there.
Yep. Yeah, it's a great question, and Dalton Connect is the exact opposite. Like, if you had told me Dalton Connect was Vescovi and Vescovi was Connect, I'd have believed you.
I think he's scoring like 5 or 6 points less a game, almost half.
Yeah.
And all right, last one.
I don't know how many times Vescovi's been in double digits this year.
It's wild.
He's never been a great shooter, but he's always been a scorer. You know,
and he's got so much experience. I want to check that though. I don't see more than 12 all year.
That's crazy.
Go way back. He had 21 against Kansas in a loss. But that is the only time he's been above 12 points the entire year.
I mean, the easy answer is Dalton Connect happened to him. I mean, that's the easy answer.
Yeah, but you think his assist would skyrocket or something, but he's just done nothing. All right, last thing, I've never seen Home Alone, The Goonies, Ghostbusters, or the original Top Gun. I'm going to watch one tonight. Which one would you pick that I should watch?
Top Gun.
I'd go Goonies.
Yeah, I think Goonies is probably your best overall movie, but I think for you, I probably would go Top Gun. So Top Gun, Goonies.
I watched Top Gun Maverick with the riff tracks commentary, and I enjoyed it. I liked it.
No, I think you liked it. I mean, it's got a lot of 80s cheese to it, but Top Gun, Goonies, what were your other two?
Ghostbusters and Home Alone.
Home Alone, I would wait for the holidays. It was definitely worth the watch. And I don't like Ghostbusters. It didn't hold up for me. I loved it as a kid. Not a big fan anymore.
I liked Ghostbusters. I didn't hate the sequel, honestly, but
Goonies or Top Gun?
Goonies is last for me. I would go Top Gun.
Okay, that's what I would have guessed too, Brownie. But
it's amazing. You've probably seen every Lady Chatterley in her catalog, and you haven't seen those.
She travels a lot. She's so young.
Y'all be good.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Volfan 205 says Dalton came in and Zakai Ziegler came back, so Vescovi's the fourth option now. That's a shame. I mean, it's not a shame kids still play him, but obviously he was a really, really good player before all that.
No, well, I mean, I still think he's a talented guy that obviously has a ton of experience, but, once you get to the postseason, I mean, Connect's going to handle the scoring load. Yeah. But this is a guy that's still going to be impactful.
All right, Redmont Vodka, before we remind people how they can win potentially $1,000, tell them about Redmont Vodka.
It's gluten-free. It's 8 times distilled, locally owned and operated product. Charles Barkley, one of the great faces behind it. If you're out at a local restaurant or bar, ask for it by name. If they don't have it, tell them to get it. Available in 22 states now. It is Redmont Vodka.
All right, so every day at Lance's Lock, we are giving away a chance. We can give away $1,000 every single day. Here's how we're doing it. If you go to Lance's Lock on TikTok, we're giving you a game every single day in the comments. All you got to do is predict the winner and the score. Give us the winner and the score. We're going to randomly select before the game even tips 5 people out of the comments. And if one of those 5 people hits the score, they win $1,000. It is quite simple. It is all at TikTok right there. Make sure you like it and follow it and go comment.
I had somebody reach out. Do I have to follow you guys on TikTok in order to be able to do this?
Sure.
And I said,
Why would you not? Yeah. I mean, that's silly. Why would you not follow us? But the lock of the day, every day, presented by Hemp Hill.
Yeah, Hemp Hill Services, 205-229-2090. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.org or .inc.com.
Just dot something.
Yeah.
Your free play was a surprise today. I didn't know it was going to be your free play. When I was looking at the lines this morning on mybookie.ag, I'm like, boy, how times have changed. Nebraska is going to Indiana and laying a point.
Yeah, and the mayor
that's wild to think about.
Has done such a good job with that program. And Nebraska is, I mean, when you look right now, is that their best sport?
Maybe so. I mean, I don't follow their whole. The women's volleyball team packed out that football stadium. I guess they're good.
Yeah, Fred Hoiberg's done a really good job with this team. Now they have lost 3 of their last 6. But back-to-back wins against Michigan and Penn State. Now they're in Bloomington, and depending on where you shop that, I think it opened Indiana 1.5. I think right now Nebraska is a 1.5-point favorite.
Yeah, they were 1 this morning at mybookie.ag. I haven't gotten the updated.
Yeah, Nebraska, they've still got, look, I think they're in right now, but they've still got work to do.
Yeah, it's just weird seeing Nebraska go to Indiana and being the favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, that's weird because of Indiana, not because of Nebraska.
I think it shows you, Mike Woodson and, I don't know what's happened to that program.
I don't either. I mean, they have just. And
it's almost the equivalent of Nebraska football.
And you wonder if it is, Lance. I mean, there was a day where Indiana basketball meant so much, and Indiana would put out good kids, and you could go get a Steve Alford and stuff. And I just don't know if it's the case anymore. I don't know if in the one-and-done world if they ever caught up.
Yeah, and their high school basketball was so good back in the day.
I know.
But you would think a lot of those kids would want to stay in state.
But I just, it's not the same. And I don't know if
think
it ever will be.
If you've got a collective in Bloomington, they're going to spend more money on basketball than football. But I could be wrong.
Crean had them, for a minute pretty good, but.
Yeah, with Zeller and those guys. Yeah. I mean, they were a 1 seed.
Yeah, but that's the only time they have been good in a very long time since Mike Davis took them to the national championship.
Nicholas asked, would Indiana go after Oates? They might. I don't think Oates would take that job.
Yeah, the Indiana job seems broken right now.
Yeah. I think Michigan, much better job than Indiana right now.
So anyway, that's Lance's lock today. The free play is Nebraska, and Lance's lock on TikTok to participate in the chance to win $1,000. More of the next round. We will actually do 4 downs. I was wrong about this segment. We'll do it in the next segment here for 4 downs on the next round.
Follow John Lunsford on Twitter @JLuntz.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's that time of year again. The Legacy Swap and Drop promotion is back. It's bigger than ever. Swap your current auto loan or RV loan to Legacy and drop your interest rate and monthly payment. Don't miss out on this opportunity to save big with our friends at Legacy Credit Union. Not a member yet? That's okay. You too can save by becoming a member today. Head over to swapanddrop.com. Apply in minutes. That's swapanddrop.com. Or visit one of their 9 greater Birmingham area branches. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Let me introduce you to the new line of Red Wing athletic work shoes. This great new line is perfect for the industrial athlete, the guy who is working on concrete or running through the warehouse all day long. Red Wing Athletics use the same technology found in a running shoe, with soft mesh uppers, a lightweight aluminum toe for protection, and non-slip soles. This shoe is a winner. This comfortable new line of safety shoes are perfect for warehousing and light manufacturing. Plus, the colors look great. Stop by your local Red Wing shoe store, have your feet measured, and test drive a new pair of Red Wing athletic work shoes.
Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world. we can keep you company. Check out The Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
On the next round, about to do 4 downs here. A reminder, Precision Sports and Ortho. You know, I've got a buddy of mine, Lance. You know him. He just had surgery on his AC joint and his rotator cuff. So he's down. He can't play golf, but he's got a rehab. Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. That's who he's using. 205-512-3885. Using them for the surgery and everything. PrecisionSportsOrtho.com/2024. If you tweaked your shoulder, I'm talking shoulders here. If you were doing that, putting up Christmas decorations, if you injured your elbow shooting hoops in the backyard, you got pain in your knees, 2024 could be the year you can put all that behind you. Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Get your life back on track. Orthopedic care is better together. Find your provider today. 205-512-3885. That's 205-512-3885 or PrecisionSportsOrtho.com/2024. All right, Brandon Marcello coming in about 10 minutes. We'll talk some college football with him. Also, Taylor has a calendar that is going to excite you. I know a calendar.
Oh, wow.
I know a calendar normally doesn't excite you.
Still shots where you had a chick climbing on the hood of an El Camino?
Not that kind of calendar. No, this is not that kind of calendar.
By the way, I came across a great video. I sent it to Scott. I should know by now that Scott's going to say no every time I ask him.
Every time?
Every time. This is one of those, like, there's no way whoever produced that video, they're still in business. But it's an old video on Chris Collinsworth. It is.
Oh, is it the Mexican restaurant?
Is it a Mexican restaurant? I don't think so. It's one of the creepiest videos I think I've ever seen.
From Collinsworth?
Yeah, it talks about him picking up girls.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, I'll show it to you in break.
Okay.
I wanted to show it here, but Scott, of course, shuts me down.
Well, Scott's a gatekeeper, man. He's got to keep us from getting sued. It's time for 4 downs, presented by Slice Pizza, one of our favorite spots here in Birmingham.
4 great locations, the original in Lakeview, one of Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, coming soon to Homewood, started by the late Jeff Bajayi. Incredible guy. Beautiful concept. His brothers continue to celebrate his legacy. Get in, see Jason, Chris. Tell them the guys from the next round sent you. Local pizza, local ingredients. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
Better chance of happening. UConn actually wins back-to-back, or the Chiefs three-peat.
We've never had an NFL three-peat, ever. We've at least had back-to-back in college basketball. I'd say better chance UConn wins back-to-back. I mean, there's a reason you know. How many Super Bowls have we played now?
No, I'll say UConn too, because I agree with Rece. I think UConn is the best team. I don't think they're going to do it. But for Kansas City, it was like almost perfect. Kansas City was not a good team in the regular season. Nope. Defense was really good.
Yeah, they hit at the right time. Yep.
But it did hit at the right time. Seemed like they got all the breaks in the postseason. I just don't see it happening again.
I mean, I said it all year long. I think Georgia's the best team in the country. But nobody has won 3 straight national championships for a reason. History is history for a reason, right?
Yep.
And Georgia, it just... You know, everything was stacked against them. Nobody had won as many conference games as they had won. Nobody had won 3 back-to-back championships. There's a lot of, we got a lot of time that is going past in college football. There's a reason those streaks are streaks, right? And it just caught up with Georgia.
Yep.
It caught up with Georgia. I can't explain why. I can't explain how. If Alabama and Georgia had played that game 15 times, I don't know how many Alabama wins, but they won the one that mattered, right? And Nick Saban owned Kirby Smart in his career. It's just, and that's what I would say about the Chiefs. You're just not going to win 3 straight. It's never happened. So give me UConn.
Second down.
So free agency starts today in the NFL. Better option at quarterback for the next 2 years. Kirk Cousins coming off the injury, or Justin Fields? If you can only have one of these guys for 2 years. Obviously, Fields has got a lot of upside. Cousins has got a ton of experience.
Yeah, but I feel like Cousins is just good enough to keep me contending for the playoffs. I feel like that is Kirk Cousins' ceiling, as I contend for the playoffs. Now, I know they won their division in Minnesota two years ago, but then they immediately went out to the Giants. I don't know what Fields' ceiling is. I don't think I've seen it. I think I've seen Cousins' ceiling, so I'd gamble on Fields.
Yeah, I think Fields is going to be really good. And, this is more of a question for Forrester, being a Falcons fan, because there's a good chance one of these guys could end up in Atlanta. Atlanta's obviously going to do something to the quarterback position, so I will take it at the back room. Forrester, if you could have one of these guys just for 2 years for the Falcons, would you go Fields? Again, that third year and on doesn't matter. Immediately the next 2 years, Fields or Kirk Cousins?
Give me Fields. So I saw a mock, I think it's actually Daniel Jeremiah's mock, that had Atlanta taking J.J. McCarthy at 8.
Look, here's the thing. That could be a terrible selection, or it could end up being incredible. Like, J.J. wasn't asked to do anything. And everybody that, like, the insiders that, have watched, like, true film on him, they're saying there's no weakness when it comes to McCarthy's game.
At 8, though?
I think you win the division with either one of those guys, though, if you go Fields or Cousins. I think that wins you the division. Now, I don't know about J.J. McCarthy, Scott. That does feel high for him.
I do think McCarthy's an automatic upgrade, though.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
Over what you've got. And you were desperate last year.
Yeah. Well, it's not.
Third down.
Better free agent pickup, running back. Would you go Derrick Henry or Austin Eckler?
I'd go Eckler. I mean, I really like Derrick Henry. He's had a really good career. It feels like Eckler's got a little more tread on the tires left than Derrick Henry.
Eckler didn't have the good year this year.
He did not.
Touchdown machine before this year. Interesting, the projections I've seen. I have seen Eckler to Kansas City.
Of course.
And I have seen Derrick Henry to the Ravens.
Oh, that'd be interesting. A big physical style of play. Yeah, that seems like a perfect fit.
And having a closer like Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I mean, I think both of these guys are going to be great additions, and they can be really selective on where they end up going.
Could you imagine some of the read runs they could do with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry? That'd be scary, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting combo right there.
Fourth down.
Kelsey Grammer, 69 years old today. Better career, Travis Kelce or Kelsey Grammer?
I think Travis Kelce will go down at the end of his career as the best tight end to have ever played the game. And Kelsey Grammer has been a good actor on TV. What has he done, though? I mean, to be respected as an actor, you've got to do it on the silver screen, Rockstar. Down Periscope is not something I would put up against The Godfather. What else has Kelsey Grammer done?
I mean, I think there are a few pieces. Gandolfini, who did a lot of film, but is known
more
for his role.
Sopranos. You're right about that.
Bryan Cranston. I mean, he is obviously going to be Walt White. He's done some film, but he's never going to be a lead in those situations.
But to be a lead, you got to do it in the movies.
I mean, I agree. There was another Kelsey that I was actually going to throw out there, but I forgot who it was.
Oh. He did some voiceover work. There was something where I remember he said he auditioned for Luke Skywalker, Han Solo.
Kelsey Grammer did?
Yeah. I think as an accident almost. He was on the lottery. So it was an interview with Howard Stern. He said, pretty much George Lucas laughed at him because he's like, because if he's like, my voice was just too much for Han Solo.
Troy says Beast and X-Men Transformers.
Yeah, and he does.
Tyler says he's Dr. Hank McCoy of the X-Men.
Yeah. He does a lot of voice work. And Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
I always thought that Frasier I liked it personally better than Cheers.
See, I liked Cheers growing up. I never really watched Frasier.
Frasier was
just did
good.
not appeal to me.
Yeah, Frasier was very underrated. Now, they did a reboot on Peacock. I haven't seen one of those episodes. Our man C. Stu's seen the entire season.
I'm stunned.
He was like, it wasn't that good. And I'm like, well, why in the hell do you watch the entire season?
Well, I had to make sure it wasn't that good.
But I do think Kelsey Grammer's one of those guys that went to Juilliard and he's been professionally trained.
Yeah.
And,
No, excellent actor.
I would agree that Travis Kelce is ultimately going to have, probably even to this point, the better career.
Yeah. That is 4 Downs presented by Slice. 4 great locations of Slice.
Yeah, stop in for lunch or dinner. Get a slice and a salad today. For more information, you can always go online. Local pizza, local ingredients, slicebirmingham.com.
Troy says the new one starts to find itself at the end. So maybe, I don't know if they've got another year of it coming or not. I did see that BB Newirth was in an early episode. She did the obligatory walk-on, right? Because she was his wife. Was she in Frasier? Was BB Newirth in Frasier or just in Cheers?
Oh. They
were divorced in Frasier, right?
She made a couple appearances in Frasier, I think. I never watched the show.
You never watched Frasier?
I think I've seen an episode and a half.
I never got into it, too, and I love Cheers.
The old man and the Jack Russell are both dead, right?
Yeah, I know the dog is long dead.
Yeah.
The old man was in...
he was in the Brothers McMullen.
Primal Fear. He was Mr. Shaughnessy.
He was. They went for Chinese.
Yeah.
Brendan Marcello talks college football when we return here on The Next Round.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
You never know what we're up to here at The Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow The Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunsford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for The Next Round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
There are so many things I love about walk-ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, prepared fresh, daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got two great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 in Hoover with walk-ons.
Visit nextroundlive.com today. It's free, unless you haven't paid your internet bill. So go ahead and pay that, and then it's free. Heck, you can pull out your phone and go to nextroundlive.com right now, where you'll find all the free content that you can stomach, unless you haven't paid your phone bill. Then you need to pay that, and then you can enjoy all the free content. NextRoundLive.com is so rewarding that it should be behind a paywall, like Lance's Lock. So in summary, play Lance's Lock. Then you'll have enough money to pay your bills, and go to NextRoundLive.com, where you're always at your happiest, for free.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, this hour of the show, as always, presented by Champy's, world-famous fried chicken. Highway 119 in Alabaster is a great location for Champy's. You can go by there and grab some lunch, get the po' boy, the fried chicken tenders, margaritas. If you want to grab one of those at lunch, they are fantastic. They are Champy's, world-famous fried chicken. Sterling and the gang down there doing a great job. Brendan Marcello covers college football for 24/7 Sports. This is a new backdrop. We have not had Brandon on since he changed backdrops. What happened, Brandon?
I got a new desk. So actual real backdrop this time, not a vinyl. Oh, yeah. Huge fan.
Wait, where's RoboCop?
It's over his left shoulder.
Yeah, right there.
Part of them right there.
You see it? That's half. That's a half.
Damn, Rocky, that's a pretty good pull there.
Do you not have a RoboCop tattoo? Did we not discover that in Nashville?
What?
Yeah, I got one on my right arm here.
You don't remember that from Nashville?
Fan of it.
Yeah.
Wow. So Peter Weller fan?
Oh yeah, I've got a signed picture of him over here off camera. That's my one obsession is that.
Why
that
RoboCop?
movie.
Real quick.
Probably because my parents, when I was like 4 or 5 years old, for some reason let me watch that movie, which is completely should not be done because it's one of the most violent movies ever, and I was fascinated
most
with it ever
violent
since.
murder scene I've ever like on a kid, like for Peter Weller when he's shot by those guys.
Yeah,
he's shot like 9,000 times.
Yeah, so your parents made a poor decision, but it molded you for the rest of your life, Brendan.
Yeah, for better and worse, and mostly worse.
Yeah, so
messed up.
That was a good underrated film from 1987.
87.
But what about,
Right.
didn't they remake it in 2014?
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Okay.
Not a fan
It's
of the
terrible.
Yeah, you would think with the CGI being as good. Sometimes that can be a detriment, though. The CGI is too good, and they use it as a crutch too much. But you would think that's one of those movies that could be even better, but apparently not.
It was the story. The story's terrible. The story was bad. That's what makes the original so good, is because it's like the perfect tight film. It's sardonic. There's so much satire in there about Reaganomics and the 80s and excess. And then the 2014 version is just like, let's just do some video game action scenes.
Wow, but you got Gary Oldman. I'm looking here. Samuel L. Jackson, Michael Keaton. Who was the kid from the Bad News Bears that we talked about? Kelly Leak, Jackie Earl Haley. That's a pretty good cast, though.
Yeah, very good cast. It's just they didn't have much to work with.
Just a shitty
was,
script. Typically ruins a movie.
Very bad.
Yeah.
Oh, my last
Even
thing-
Joel Kinnaman as RoboCop. That he's a great actor.
Oh, The Killing.
I'm watching him on a show.
Killing is fantastic.
That's what I hear. I've been watching For All Mankind on Apple Plus. He's the star of that. It's just an alternate history if the space race never ended between the United States and Russia. It's pretty good.
Wow. That guy, 7399 in the chat room, says he watched the Netflix behind the scenes for RoboCop. It says it's very good. I assume you've seen that, Brendan.
Yeah, I've seen it. There's actually a documentary that just released recently called RoboDoc that's like 6 hours long, and it's like the ultimate. They got everybody on it recently to talk about it. The stories are fascinating about how just hellish it was to make that movie.
Oh, this is fascinating that you're fascinated by it. I met a couple at a party one time, and they were Jurassic Park freaks. I don't know how the conversation started, but they knew every single thing. It was just the original. They'd seen them all, but the original, they would watch it like once a month and knew everything about it.
Wow. Well, we all got some type of obsession or whatever. That's been mine like my entire life. I've held myself back from actually like spending a lot of money on it, though. I got a shelf over here of RoboCop stuff. But it's there's been so many things that I've wanted to spend money on that's like thousands of dollars that I think I would get a divorce if that happened.
We don't want that to happen. Brandon Marcello, 24/7 Sports, covers college football for them. There was no surprise yesterday that the 5-7 model was adopted. I think everybody assumed that was going to happen. What is the next obvious step for the college football playoff now that adoption is behind us?
Let's see if 2 years from now that format remains.
Yeah.
The SEC and Big Ten are kind of fighting, or at least pushing, I should say, the idea of getting multiple automatic qualifiers for those conferences. So instead of just obviously what the way it is now, or will be with the conference champions getting in, they want two potentially for each conference. And actually, that's being discussed a little bit today, but they're having another meeting today. I'm interested to kind of see what the fallout is from that. But, what's this look like 2 years from now? The big thing is the revenue piece, and the way to get more revenue is by having more automatic qualifiers attached to your conference, which is the way the SEC and Big Ten to get that done. To me, personally, that just you're shrinking the field once again, and we might as well almost stick with the 4-team playoff in a lot of ways, because at that point you're looking at only leaving maybe just a few spots for at-large teams, and we're just not going to have as much group of 5 representation in there. And the whole point of this was to open it up to allow more teams in. And the other thing is the SEC and Big Ten, they're going to get 2 teams in every year anyway, but they're wanting these automatic qualifiers because they want that name attached. So at this point, like, what you're doing if you're the SEC and Big Ten is you're saying our conference championships really don't matter because both teams are going to get in. We know that. You're pretty much just saying give the automatic qualifiers to our teams that qualified for the conference championship, right? And if you do that, then what's the point of playing that game if one of those teams is on the periphery potentially and has a chance if they upset the other to get in? Now you're just saying, like, if their two highest ranked teams are in the conference championship game anyway, they're both going to get in. I don't know. I don't think I like the idea of multiple automatic qualifiers for any conference.
I don't either, Brandon, but I do feel like, the motivating factor is money, there's no doubt, but I do feel like, too, they're trying to keep some incentive on these conference championship games, because I remember us discussing it. You know, if it had been a year later, Texas would have played Georgia, not Alabama. And I remember people on this show, fans, in our audience, saying, I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine not going to Atlanta, just hold what you got if you're Alabama. Now, you go to Atlanta, you win, you got a first-round bye. But if you're Alabama with one loss, you're sitting there and you're probably at worst a 5 or 6 seed.
Yeah, it's great points all around there too. And I'm going to go back and do some research today. Like, if the Big Ten and the SEC had 2 automatic qualifiers every year in the modern college football playoff era with the 4 teams, if we had expanded it to 12 at that point, what that would have looked like? Would it have bumped anybody else out? Would it have provided a first round bye potentially to a team? A team that would be in the playoff that would have affected their seeding elsewhere as well. But the way it is, as we all know, the SEC and Big Ten are going to get 2 teams in at least every year anyway. So why do we need to attach an AQ to it? And to me, the only reason why they want to attach the AQ to it is so that they can legitimately put on paper, well, the reason why we deserve more money is because we're providing you more teams guaranteed every year. And again, that's what it all comes down to. It's the money. It's the money.
I had my first bold 2024 prediction yesterday. I want to see where you stand on this. I said Billy Napier will either be the SEC Coach of the Year or he will be fired in season.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's one or either. It's either of those. It's not going to be anything in the between. Because as I've mentioned here before, that schedule's insane. Those last 5 or 6 games, there's not a tougher stretch in all of America to end a season. So yeah, he's either going to be Coach of the Year, and Coach of the Year for him against that schedule, with that, if they were to win 9 games, that's Coach of the Year type of stuff.
Yeah, and I think you said 10-2, and I agree with you. I think most 10-2's brands, at least in the SEC Big Ten, are going to be in this 12-team playoff. But I think even a 9-3 with a schedule like that, depending on how they're playing in November, could possibly get you in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely it could. And also, I think you make a great point there. How are you playing near the end of the season? That's going to be weighed quite a bit by the committee going forward, of course. How are you playing lately? And, that's kind of the argument, of course, with the injury situation at Florida State that they were trying to make there with Florida State. But again, yeah, if you're Florida and you have a schedule like that near the end and you finish 9-3 and you are winning those games at the end, that's going to lift a team like that into the playoff potentially.
Brandon, you said those last 5 games, and we went through this, but I didn't really pull the last 5 games. But this might, and this is not hyperbolic, this might be legitimately the toughest 5-game stretch in the history of college football. When you start out with Georgia, at Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, and at Florida State. I mean, that could be 5 top 10 teams, right?
Yes, it could be. It's insane. And we say that now, and of course we'll get there in the season, and like 3 of those teams won't even be in the top 25 potentially. You just never know. Especially with the quarterback situations that is in college football this year. It's going to be a real down year, I think, next year for college football quarterbacks. But absolutely. I mean, you look at the Ole Miss's schedule, that's a team that should easily be undefeated with a 7 or 8 win season, or win their first 7 or 8 straight games and be potentially in the top 4 already going into the back half of the schedule. Their schedule is so conducive to winning an SEC title next year. And if Ole Miss doesn't get to the SEC championship game this upcoming fall, when will they ever? They've got the team. They have got the schedule. They're avoiding some of the big dogs. They get Georgia, I believe, in Oxford this year. They avoid Alabama. This is the year to do it with that roster they've got. And if they don't do it now, geez, when are you going to do it?
Yeah, they're only going to be underdogs in 2 games at LSU and against Georgia at home. That's it.
And they beat LSU this year. I mean, the problem is Lane has not really won big games. I mean, that's the thing that has plagued him Brandon really just about anywhere he's been, but certainly at Ole Miss. He's kind of like he's got a little bit of the James Franklin syndrome. He's going to win a lot of games, but he might not win the biggest games.
Yeah, it's almost like we tagged him as like the guy who's going to beat Nick Saban in Alabama, and he doesn't. But for some reason, he still gets that tag. I think he's actually helped a little bit by because of Ole Miss's past history against Alabama under Hugh Freeze. And then also just because of Kiffin's personality and knowing Saban's system and all that. But he had his chances, didn't really get it done. And, if he's going to prove himself as a championship calendar coach, this is the year to do it. Because you're right. They haven't really won a big, gigantic game at Ole Miss under Lane Kiffin. And, he's in danger this season, which I think anybody, almost practically any coach would beg to be, of just being labeled as, yeah, you're going to win 9 or 10 games, but you're just never going to win a championship. There's those type of coaches out there that can just do enough to get their teams to do that. But when the big moment comes, they just seemingly can't get it done. That's been the label, in the past with Texas Tech teams under Mike Leach, for example, winning 9-10 games, just never being able to really win a Big 12 championship or make a big splash. And maybe Lane Kiffin's kind of like the more modern version of that right now. But we'll see this upcoming season. I love Ole Miss this year. I love Lane Kiffin as a coach. But that's the legacy he could potentially be leaving there at Ole Miss if he doesn't really make that next step this year.
All right, he is Brandon Marcello, 24/7 Sports. You can follow him on Twitter at @BMarcello. It is always a fun conversation with you, Brandon. We greatly appreciate the time.
All right, see you guys. Go watch RoboCop.
I will, absolutely. Thank you. Take care. Brandon with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. You and I have known each other for a long time. You know I have not seen a ton of movies. I've never seen RoboCop.
I'm not shocked at all. And there are about 100 films you need to see before RoboCop.
Okay.
Yeah, but it is good.
I mean, it's very dark, but then they turned it into a children's TV cartoon in 88. I remember watching that. I had the action figures. They're great action figures.
Scott is going to pull up a calendar that Little T built that is going to excite football fans after Lance tells us about the Rump Shaker 5K.
Yeah, I want to remind you that is coming up March 23rd at Regions Field. For more information on the 16th annual Rump Shaker 5K, you can get registered online. They've got details, rumpshakerinc.org. Did you know that colon cancer is second leading cause of cancer deaths in America? It affects men and women equally. If you're 45 or older, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, it's treatable, it's beatable. Early detection is the key. For more information, again, go online, go to rumpshakerinc.org.
So Taylor built the calendar. When you put the dates on the calendar with the college football playoff and the NFL, that is going to be a fun stretch. So starting December 20th, you'll have the first round, the 20th and the 21st. Then the next weekend, Saturday the 28th, is the NFL's Week 17. Sunday the 29th, Week 17. The 31st, you got the quarterfinals. Switch over to New Year's Day, you got the quarterfinals. 4 days off, you get to Week 18, Saturday and Sunday, the 4th and 5th of January. 3 days off, we've got the semifinals, the 9th and 10th of January. Then Wild Card Weekend, the 11th, 12th, and 13th of January. 4 days off, the divisional round, the 18th and 19th of January. The 20th is the College Football National Championship game, and then Sunday the 26th is Championship Sunday. That's going to be a fun month of football right there.
Looking at that calendar, I think I'm on to a new trend. I had a Zoom call yesterday, and they were asking me about dry February. Why do you do dry February and not dry January? Well, moving forward, I think it's going to be really difficult for guys or girls that like football to do dry January with that calendar.
I mean, that week right there, Thursday the 9th, I've got semifinals games on the 9th and the 10th. Then I flip right around to Wild Card Weekend, Super Wild Card Weekend, the 11th, 12th, and 13th. 5 straight days of incredibly meaningful football games.
Yeah, I don't want to leave the couch.
I do not either. I mean, Thursday, January 9th through Monday, January 13th is going to be phenomenal football.
Oh, elimination games.
Yep, all across the board. I mean, when you put it on a calendar, that is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I've wondered how all of this is going to work, and the college football people are having to tap dance to get around the NFL. But, man, when you look at it on a calendar, that's going to be a fun month right there.
Yeah, and Britton's saying, why did this take so long? Look, politics involved, obviously money, and the money has gotten so massive. This is why we're finally at this point. People are going to say this is going to dilute the regular season. I disagree. We're just talking about that numbers kind of 2 or 3. I understand one loss is not going to be catastrophic, but once you get that one loss, then you're treading on thin ice.
Yeah, Scott, can you put that up again real quick? I'm sorry, because I was going to mention this, but Troy says not to mention a crap ton of college basketball games at that time, and he's right. But also, if you look, so you've got the first round, the 20th and the 21st. You're going to have NFL Sunday. That would be Sunday the 22nd, week 16. But then 23rd, you have Monday Night Football. 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, you'll have college bowl games. 28th, week 17, 29, week 17. The 30th, you'll have a college bowl game. 31 and 1 quarterfinals. For that week right there, you're going to have some pretty good college bowl games, not to mention the playoffs and NFL week 17.
Yeah, this is when you get in front of your coworkers and you take these weeks off. I remember there was a day back in the Cumulus before we all did a show together and before Nick Saban was the head coach at Alabama, where it was okay to take those days off. And I had so many to burn, I would try to pick a week around Christmas or the holidays where I could just hang out and watch bowl games all the time.
Yeah. I would always just look at where Christmas fell and determine, which week do I want to take off to maximize my days, right? Yeah. When Christmas fell like on a Thursday, you knew everybody was going to get that Friday off. So I'd go ahead and I'd maximize it that way. Yeah, that's going to be fun to watch. It will be very, very fun when college football rolls around. All right, MyBookie.ag lines tonight. This morning's Florida line against Alabama, -8.5. Did you end up playing that game at Lance's Lock?
I did.
You did? Okay, so we'll stay away from that. 6 o'clock ESPN2. Kentucky at LSU, 6.5. Kentucky favored on the road at LSU, 8 o'clock on ESPN.
Yeah, I took a look at this. LSU, obviously not a good product this year. Kentucky coming off, as you heard Stephen Pearl say yesterday, maybe not their best 40 minutes, but their best effort of the season. And if you're John Calipari, you've got to see this. You got to see this continue. You can't have a one-game situation where you play at that level and you let it falter a little bit. I know you're playing an LSU team that has no shot at the postseason, but Kentucky has got to continue to put foot on throat and play their best basketball moving forward.
Colorado State at New Mexico. New Mexico, even though Colorado State is the ranked team here, these two really good teams. New Mexico, a 7-point favorite at home, 9 o'clock CBS Sports Network.
Yeah, I took a look at this game and scratched New Mexico late. I did like the Lobos, a little bit more important game for them. And obviously 11-2 at home. Colorado State has not played well on the road. So this is a game New Mexico should win in the pit. 7.5, though.
That's a big number. UAB a fairly big number too, but Rice is not great. -11.5 for UAB at home at Bartow tonight, 7 o'clock ESPN plus the MyBookie line.
Stayed away. Again, we know at this point right now in the American, UAB is going to have to win their conference tournament to get into the NCAA tournament, but you want to continue to play at the level UAB's playing right now. They're hot.
I should have mentioned in the Florida-Bama game, the total is the biggest on the board tonight. What would you say, 174? Is that what it was? I don't have it in front of me. MyBookie.ag, code next round to play all of those games. MyBookie.ag, code next round. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Use code next round at sign-on and get that sign-on bonus. The first time you've ever joined, we're going to give you a bonus for using code next round. That is MyBookie.ag, code next round. MyBookie.ag, code next round. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Trash is next on the next round.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
There are so many things I love about Walk-Ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, prepared fresh, daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got 2 great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-Ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 and Hoover with Walk-Ons.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, For yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459 exit 31 Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or The Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
About to go to trash. Don't forget our buddy Greg from Pell City will get up on that roof for you to keep you from having to do it. If you've recently had storm damage, or if you just know, hey, my roof's old, I probably need a new roof, our guy Greg from Pell City will get up there for you, and he will give you that consultation. He'll treat you right. You call him right now, no cost inspection. He'll get up on the roof, and we've had people reach out to us that I was certain I needed a new roof. Greg got up there and said, no, I think you can probably get 3 or 4 more years out of this thing. He didn't just come sell them to sell them. He was honest with them, and that's exactly what will happen when you contact Greg from Pell City. 205-542-3531. 205-542-3531 is his cell number for storm restoration roofing, or Greg from Pell City on Facebook, a good way to find him there as well. They restocked, our friends at Coca-Cola restocked the cooler behind me. That Coca-Cola Spiced that is on the top row right there. Bobby says, I saw that Coca-Cola Spiced at Publix yesterday. Look closer, and it says raspberry flavored. Raspberry flavored Coca-Cola Spiced, one of their new flavors right there.
Have you tried it?
I have not. Melton was in here earlier today, and he was going to get it, but they had not had time to get properly chilled because they stocked it this morning.
I'm gonna try it. Probably nothing complements a Lunchable like a Coca-Cola Spiced.
Spiced raspberry?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we got the Coca-Cola Classic right there, so it's one of their new flavors right there. So there you go. I drink, they've got, I think they put it in there this time, but in our last round we had Coca-Cola Zero Cherry.
Cherry, yeah.
And I used to love Cherry Coke as a kid.
Well, those got wiped out.
I know. I drank one yesterday. It is very, very good.
I am surprised at how squeezed Sprite is. To me, Sprite, along with the Coca-Cola Original, are the best products.
Well, with me sitting right here, look, we've only got 2 rows of Diet Coke. I mean, I'll knock that out in 2 or 3 shows.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that is true, because I think Diet Coke gets consumed. When Rocky was drinking Diet Coke, you, Dunaway, and Brown, I mean, you guys were going through a case a day.
Oh, I would kill both of y'all combined.
I love Diet Coke.
I would destroy them. I had to stop. Yeah. It was bad.
I go to the same place every morning when I head to work to get a fountain drink Diet Coke on my way to work every single morning.
Is that the drive-through?
No. It's a convenience store.
So you stop at convenience store and drive-through every day?
Yeah, convenience store and Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Every day. Well, I'm a creature of habit now. I got to get my soft drink there and then get my sandwich.
They have soft drinks there, I'm sure.
They don't have the right kind, though.
Oh. Okay.
So, and I like it. I like the fizz on tap Rockstar. And just in the morning, I need that kick of a little. It tastes different.
Yeah, one
you got the carbonation in it.
small luxury I've never pulled the trigger on, and I still want to, is getting an ice maker, a really good one.
Oh, crushed ice.
Yeah,
this place has crushed ice too.
And crushed ice is no good for cocktails, but crushed ice, you cannot beat it for like a Coke.
Yeah.
And so I'm almost like, instead of stopping every morning at that convenience store, why would you just not get a crushed ice machine? Do it like that?
Because I don't have the fountain drink. If Coca-Cola would come to my house and put in the fountain and the crushed ice, I may never leave the house.
If Jägermeister was coming to put a 4-bottle tap in my house, I'm sure Coke, we could probably talk them into putting a fountain in yours.
The day they want to show up, I'll be there.
Now, you're going to have to learn. You're going to have to learn how to change the formula.
No, they're going to come out and do that.
Yeah,
that's going to be the problem. I was going to have them coming out. When they come to restock our machine, they're going to also swing by my house and take care of that. Hey, don't forget to give us a thumbs up on YouTube if you have not already subscribed. And set your alerts. Do that as well. We got some Out of the Norm live shows coming up Thursday and Saturday. You'll get an alert when we go live. If you will do that, set your alert so you know when we're live, and also give us a thumbs up. That helps us a ton. We greatly appreciate you doing that. Rockstar, is that big button in your reach by chance?
Father of 2, Dale Decker, suffers from a rare and seemingly incurable condition that leads to him suffering up to 100 unwanted orgasms a day.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Are you a veteran looking for a VA loan? Mortgage Right has been advocating for veterans since their company began. As a veteran-owned, operated company committed to your well-being, they can help you find the best terms available, guide you through every step of the process. You can visit them. Their location, Highway 280 in Birmingham. You can apply online, mortgageright.com/TNR. Call 205-815-9200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. I don't know how many pictures we've got today. I'm going to assume we start with the human leg.
Oh, dear. Is it troubling? Is it severed?
Troubling discovery this weekend in the Bronx has detectives trying to piece together how a body part ended up on a subway track bed.
That is it's a great question, Rockstar. I do want to know that.
Now, the NYPD said human leg was found around 1 p.m. on Saturday. No other details about the grisly find were immediately disclosed, so it is unclear how the leg ended up along the subway line or what happened to the person the leg belonged to. No potentially identifying information was released. City's medical examiner took possession of the leg to determine more about the leg's origin. This is not a real leg that we're looking at, though.
Oh, that's not real, Lance?
Hypothetically,
yeah,
your leg gets run over by a subway.
Okay.
Let's say you come back to, you don't die. You're in an emergency. Do you try to collect the leg, what's left of it, or hop to the nearest phone or try to get somebody to help?
I'm going to try to collect it, Rockstar, because there is a chance, against all odds, they could reattach it. They could reattach it. Yeah, put it in a bag of crushed ice.
Yeah, I think I lose a finger. You know, a digit goes off, an ear. Maybe in a fight, somebody rips your ear off. I think you put those on ice. I think when you lose a leg that clean, I think it's gone.
Yeah, but I mean, what if you get to the emergency room and the doctor says, God, if you'd have gotten the bottom half, I think we could have reattached this.
Well, it's on the subway station if someone would go back and look for it.
Do you think we've had divorces over, can't figure out where to go to dinner. Do you think like somebody left their husband's leg on the track?
I forgot to get his leg.
And the doctor's like, we could have attached this if your wife would have picked up the leg.
If she would have just taken time and wasn't rushing you to get in the ambulance.
Yeah. Hey, can you get me another beer? And she looks at you. If I had a leg, if you would have picked it up, my ass could get in there and get it. This one out of Altoona, Pennsylvania. State police are investigating a burglary in Bedford County in which jewelry and money were taken along with $1 million in Zimbabwe trillion-dollar bills. Do you guys remember when it was it the Dakar? What was the
Dakar Noir? Cologne?
No, it was a currency where all of these people, like the country had gone bankrupt. And so there was a currency people were purchasing for
remember that.
Cents on hundreds of dollars. And there were so many people that thought they were going to get rich on these denominations of a currency that doesn't exist anymore. And I remember talking to people like it's about to happen. Like we hear like there was like some kind of
it was almost like a pyramid scheme.
Yeah,
like
website. It was. And anyway, according to this report, someone broke into the couple's residence On February 6th, victims reported that 20 Zimbabwe $100 trillion bills were taken. The bills were worth $1 million, according to the police report. Other items reported missing were engagement rings valued at $1,500, gold turtle necklace, some silver dollars, loose change.
They're worth $1 million American? Is that what they're saying?
Their money system's really screwed up. There's a $100 trillion bill.
Well, I know, but it's worth $1 million American dollars.
20 of them is worth.
Oh, 20 of them is. Okay.
But
I mean, either way.
Could you imagine the currency situation in Zimbabwe? Like, dude, can I borrow 100 million trillion?
I don't have it on me.
The thing, like the peso seems like a pain in the ass too because it's so many.
Yeah.
Like, although our economy is flipped upside down.
Yeah.
And we are, I don't know how many trillion dollars in debt right now.
All we need is one of these right here, and we can just fix it.
But it seems like our denominations work out pretty easily.
What if we called China and said, I got a deal for you. I could wipe out our debt if you can bank with the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. You just need to let me know.
Sir, we got to think of the artwork we're going to put on the bill.
Well, what is
3 rocks on a bush?
That's what I was going to say. What is the symbolism of these 3 rocks? And is that the scale of a real tree? Or is that a small bush? Because if those are trees, those are massive-ass rocks.
That's a big rock. You're right. I don't know.
Oh, they are? Those are real trees? Look at the palm tree.
Oh, yeah. Oh, those are big rocks. They have that big a rock in Zimbabwe, Rockstar?
I don't know.
Never been.
Is Dr. G the governor there?
Yeah. Dr. G. Gano.
Dr. G.
I promise.
And see if you can Google Dr. G. Gano and just see what this guy looks like. I bet he's got a harem he's waking up to right now.
Oh, Dr. G. Gano. He's the prime minister of Ghana. Is that what it said?
The governor. They called him the governor.
The governor of Zimbabwe.
Let's see.
No, he's not going to come up.
He's going to have a feather in his hat.
Gideon Gano. Oh, yeah, okay. All right, he looks legitimate. Oh, he's an ex-governor. He tells Rockstar. It's a tearful confession. It appears.
You think he's what we would call resourceful?
I don't know, man.
Any shady deals at all?
He's telling all right now.
Oh, you're retired in 2013.
Okay, good.
So 5 movies so bad they're great to watch again and again. I almost watched this when I was going to reach out to Lunsford. The Room is the first one on here. I want to see this because I saw James Franco. What was the name of the movie? It was really good.
Disaster Artist, but you got to you watch them in reverse order. This is one of the worst movies you will ever see. The acting, the writing, when everything just comes together to be so terrible that it's comical.
Okay,
and this guy
so on Set Edible, I probably get a lot of laughs watching The Room.
Like them playing football on the roof, just tossing the ball. Nobody knows how to throw a football. Like it's
Is
so
that the Stella?
Yeah, no, it's Lisa. Lisa, you're tearing me apart.
Lunsford, do you remember how I was down on that movie about the conductor guy, Leonard Bernstein?
Yeah.
Lunsford watched like Madame Bovary or something over the weekend and said it's the worst movie he's ever seen.
Adam Webb. It didn't have Dakota
Madam
Johnson.
Webb. Who?
Dakota Johnson.
That's Don Johnson's daughter.
Yeah, the girl from 50 Shades.
Yeah, Lunsford says it's awful.
Yeah, Dakota Johnson's one of those, she could be sneaky hot, but she could also be working at a grocery store as a cashier.
Looking for trash tomorrow. Do you know who she's dating?
Dakota Johnson, Philip Michael Tubbs' kid.
Chris Martin from Coldplay.
Oh, really? How about that? So she's your Billy Napier of movies. She could either be really hot or working at a grocery store.
I mean, can you pull us to Dakota Johnson? Because I saw this. I was pulling something on Don Johnson.
Is it her mom, Goldie Hawn?
By the way, Don Johnson won a Golden Globe.
Melanie Griffith.
Melanie Griffith, that's right, yeah.
Don Johnson won a Golden Globe for his portrayal as Sonny Crockett in Miami Vice.
Oh, it was a phenomenal show.
The weird thing, it was on Friday nights back when we were kids, though.
I remember that.
You know, Friday night's typically where a show goes to die.
Yeah, but that one thrived on a Friday night.
I mean, could you not see her?
Yeah, I got what you're saying right there. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, she's a little done up there with the scarf and everything and a lot of makeup.
That's basically a glamour shot.
Yeah. Okay, so The Room is the first one, and just a little back story on that. In San Francisco, a banker's seemingly perfect life turned upside down when his deceitful fiance embarks on an affair with his best friend.
Oh.
Hi, Mark. Oh, hi, Mark.
Mac and Me from 1988. This is an alien trying to escape from NASA.
You don't remember this one?
He's befriended by a wheelchair-bound boy.
Oh, I do remember that now. The wheelchair thing, I remember that.
The best thing is Paul Rudd, whenever he was on Conan, I think for over 14 appearances, whenever he tosses a clip to the movie he's doing, he does the Mac and Me. There's a clip of the kid's going down the mountain with his wheelchair.
Yeah.
And he can't hit the brakes, and Mac's looking at him.
Okay, so in this vein, Now on Netflix, when you click over to like suggestions for you or the top 10 right now in America, when you put it on that, it will show you a quick like 30 seconds to kind of pull you in. Well, there is a new show that's called like Alien Something, where this doctor has relocated to small town. And so these two cops go up, and this is in the little tease. The two cops go up, knock on his door, and one of the cops is like, well, who is this guy? What do we know about him? And then the girl's like, he's out there fishing. And so it zooms to his boat, almost a Fredo situation, where he's out on the water, but then he kind of turns back, and he's the stereotypical alien. So obviously it's a wannabe comedy. But have you not seen this yet?
No.
It looks absolutely
If it's not
awful.
a cartoon, I'm not seeing it. That's what sucks.
Cats from 2019. Lunsford's favorite actress and entertainer, Taylor Swift, was in this. And this is, I've never seen the play Cats. I've never seen anything about it.
It's never really appealed to me.
Okay, here we go. The tribe of cats called the Jealousies.
The Jellicles, I guess?
Jellicles, maybe, must decide yearly which one will ascend to the heaven-side lair and come back to a new Jellicle life.
Okay. Sounds awful. I've never really been it's never appealed to me on Broadway.
So,
I mean, not that I've ever been to Broadway.
Troll 2 on...
This is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
They're not trolls, they're goblins. I don't know why they called it Troll 2. It has nothing to do with the movie Troll.
I mean, the special effects, the makeup, I mean...
You don't think that looks realistic?
The acting, like it is a cult classic about how bad the acting and
So
writing
this is 1990. A vacationing family discovers that the entire town they're visiting is inhabited by goblins disguised as humans.
God, I hate when that happens.
Who plans to eat them. Now, on Thanksgiving of this year, I'm sitting there trying to watch Your Detroit Lions, and Jace comes in and puts on Leprechaun in the Hood.
There's a Leprechaun goes back to the hood too. Like
Well, maybe that was the one that they were watching, but you know, and of course they charged it to my Amazon account.
Of course, yeah.
And yeah, that's one of those cult classics, I guess. The Happening, M. Night Shyamalan, I guess, right? Yep. There's Marky Mark, science teacher, his wife. Young girl struggle to survive a plague that causes those infected to commit suicide. Never seen it. Never had a desire to see it.
Yeah, it looks terrible.
Is that bad? Was it laughable though?
Laughable bad. Like it's like I don't know. Like it's such a cool concept, and then it is awful. Mark Wahlberg is awful.
Really, he's bad at that.
Yeah.
I saw something was out on social media. You remember Total Request Live with Carson Daly back in the day? And Eminem was on there, and they brought Mark Wahlberg, and Mark Wahlberg was such a dick to Eminem and Carson Daly.
I'm bigger than this. Weak walls.
I tell you, Jack Taylor loves him some Mark Wahlberg just based on the Ted thing.
Leaf
Can't
Blower,
get enough of Ted.
Leaf Blower says it is Wahlberg's worst movie by far.
It's bad, and he was in Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Not a great actor. He was really good though in The Departed and Boogie Nights. I will say those are great movies, great parts for him. I hope you've got, well, let me do the Hooters first, and then the final story. I hope you've got a picture of this. Charleston, West Virginia locals are a little somber this week as they prepare to say goodbye to a long-standing town establishment, a Hooters.
They're doing a candlelight vigil?
Yep, set to be demolished on Friday. And to honor the years of service, restaurant goers are gathering for a candlelight vigil. The service is now being advertised on Facebook with hopes that the town will come out to pay their respects. I still drive by like old Hooters, and I try to tell people that I'm with that place used to be completely packed out, and they don't believe me.
Oh yeah, and that's what I think. This thing has been vacant since 2020. By the way,
that looks
like
that restaurant
the one they're doing the vigil
in
for.
Wildwood.
It really does.
They're finally just going to do a vigil for it because they're getting rid of it.
And finally, the world's largest snake has been discovered in the Amazon rainforest. This is really scary. At 26 feet long, weighs 440 pounds. They say it's, quote, an absolute whopper. Now, the northern green anaconda was found by TV wildlife presenter Professor Freak Bonk. And they say it's as thick as a car tire. I'm telling you, looking at this, I would have thought that it was bigger. Like, that seems like an anaconda that you see typically that is pulled out of the Amazon rainforest.
That's what they say. You're thinking of movies and stuff like that, but this is like, look at the head. That's a guy's hand.
Oh, my God.
That's the size of your head.
Now, they say the head is the size of a human's. And they say until now, only one species of the green anaconda, also called the giant anaconda, has been recognized in the Amazon. However, the northern green anaconda has been confirmed as a distinct species in a new study published in Diversity this month. I did pull the numbers, and I'll try to include that on Trash tomorrow about the extinct species that are coming up that you guys don't believe me, that you think I made up.
Yeah, I would like to see that.
Okay.
Lance told us we will not have a tiger on this planet in 2015.
I hope I'm wrong.
15 years.
In 15 years, yeah,
2015 was
excuse
the
me,
past.
15 years. Sorry, Rockstar.
It's all right.
15 years. That's trash, presented by Mortgage Right.
Yeah, our friends at Mortgage Right, buying a home, major milestone in life, getting it right comes down to the right advice at the right time. That's why we're proud to partner with our friends at Mortgage Right, who do mortgages the right way. Call 205-815-9200. You can go online, apply there, mortgageright.com/TNR, NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
I mean, imagine the LSU fan in, 50 years explaining to his little kid, Daddy, why are we the Tigers?
Just shut your mouth. Why do you ask so many damn questions?
We used to have them roaming the planet until they all expired. Every one of them was gone.
I mean, there was a day we had a saber tooth, right?
There was a day.
There was a day. No, you're absolutely right. All right. So there is some news in Montgomery that just the other day it passed the House of Representatives, a new lottery bill that also includes some sports gaming, some casinos, mobile gaming. I mean, it's got a lot of things in it.
Yeah, look, you want to spend your money on things you want to spend your money on, and I just think it's kind of ridiculous that we are one of 12 states where you can't legally bet on sports, but we have an opportunity now. This is where we need to come together as a society and get this done. The Sports Betting Alliance. And we want to hear from you. Did you know that Alabama, as I said, one of 12 states where you can't legally bet on sports? House Bill 151, that's House Bill 151, allows you to choose whether you can place a bet on the big game this weekend. Call your state senator today. Tell them to vote yes on the lottery and gaming bill. For more information, go to sportsbettingalliance.org. That's sportsbettingalliance.org, paid for by the Sports Betting Alliance, sportsbettingalliance.org. Make sure you call today and tell them yes. That's what we want right here in the state of Alabama.
Hey, can I get Tyler on microphone? Is Tyler available to talk to me right now? Tyler, you say pandas refuse to breed?
Yeah, for some reason, if you have pandas in captivity, a lot of them will just breed, and so that's what's causing the panda population to die off.
Is there a chance that they're screwing the sexes up, like they're putting females with females?
That's happened before, but yeah, they do. They put a male and a female in an enclosure, and they just won't breed.
What is Tyler laughing at? I mean, is it that obvious on the panda?
A Rottweiler.
I've got a solution.
What?
Tequila.
That's true. Have they tried that, Tyler? Do you know? Have they tried alcohol?
I don't know if they've tried alcohol.
Does the female panda always have a headache? Is that the issue?
I believe she's picky.
You know what? You can give the male panda, you can give him that pit bull Viagra.
I mean,
just on a tree, just going at it.
But I mean, Tyler, do they know? Is it the male or the female? Is the male just like, nah, I'm not interested. There's a game
They're
on.
both not interested.
Yeah. Neither one is
Neither
interested.
one.
It's like the entire species just doesn't have a drive to keep it going.
So the female's reading a book and the male's watching the end of the game, and that's it. We're not going to have pandas.
Yep, separate beds.
I see people in the chat room. Krusty, from what I hear, probably won't pass due to the stronghold of Indian casinos.
We're back to the bill, not the pandas.
Yeah, Jody, Indian casinos, Alabama Baptist will block it. We would hope not. We would hope not, Jody, but this is our time to make a stand, make a call. Got a little time to get after this, and I think it would be beneficial to everyone if this gets passed.
More sports gambling and panda mating continuing on the next round.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
You got to look your best to play your best, and our friends at Bandwagon can help your team find the perfect uniforms for that upcoming season. Bandwagon is with you every step of the way, from developing your team logo design to choosing from their multitude of samples. You name the sport, they can make it happen. To get your uniform journey started, you can shoot them a message on any social media platform or check out their website, bandwagonsports.com. That's bandwagonsports.com. Next round listeners, it's time to jump on the bandwagon.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org.
So we had a kid in studio that was kind of shadowing on Monday, President's Day, and I was asking them who they pulled for in the Super Bowl 58, and he said, I love Pat Mahomes. I don't know if you've seen this. Max Crosby, who should have been in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year, as bad as the Raiders were. He's got his own podcast. Not surprising. I think most people do. It's called The Rush. Anyway, his former interim coach, now head coach Antonio Pierce, came on there. And have you seen this?
I have not.
He said...
Oh, I did see this, yeah.
When they play Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs, they are going to, quote, channel the bad boy Detroit Pistons. And he said, look, we've got the Jordan rules, quote, that's what I'm calling them from now on as long as I'm here, the Pat Mahomes rules. You remember when Jordan was going through it with the Pistons, all those guys in the 80s before he became Michael Jordan, Air Jordan, Pistons used to whip his ass. Anytime he came to the hole, elbows, filling him, love taps, we touched him, we're in the head, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, I'm touching you. So I showed those guys Jordan getting his ass whipped. He said, my team needs to, quote, hate the color red.
I mean, some of that I don't have a problem with. The NFL obviously has a problem with it because it makes it sound as if Antonio Pierce is putting a hit out on Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, that didn't go well for Greg Williams and Sean Payton and the Saints.
It did not. Who was the...
But I'll tell you what, they won the game and won the Super Bowl. And I think without battering Brett Favre, where he could barely walk off the field, I think Minnesota probably beats the Saints in that game. So it worked out.
Yeah, who was the defender that had the hit list on his towel back in the 80s? You remember Jim McMahon was on the hit list, then he hit him late. I cannot remember who it was.
Jerome Brown.
Was it Jerome Brown?
I think it was Jerome Brown.
Yeah, and he hit McMahon late.
Or it might have been Charles Martin for the Packers.
Yeah, I think it was Charles Martin.
Well, that was the body slam on the turf.
The body slam on the turf at Soldier Field, and it was way after the play. And it was a huge controversy.
See, and I didn't mind it. I didn't like that Bears team. I know you couldn't have liked them beating the Dolphins. Or the Dolphins actually beat them. The Dolphins beat them.
Yeah. We were supposed to. I mean, it looked like we were going to rematch with them in the Super Bowl, and the Patriots beat us. Yeah, no. I didn't mind it at all. The Dolphins kept them from going undefeated on Monday Night Football.
I did not like that Bears team.
I wasn't a huge fan. It's one of those teams a little bit like Rockstar's Bad Boy Pistons that as I look back now, I wish I'd appreciated them more.
Yeah.
Like I didn't appreciate the Pistons enough back then.
But it's hard to believe teams like that only won one championship, like the Bears, like that 2000 Ravens team. I saw an interview with Mekhi Phifer. You probably don't know who that is.
I do know who Mekhi Phifer is.
But Mekhi Phifer was on with Rich Eisen, and he was talking about, he's a New York sports fan, and those Mets and how unbeatable they were. They won one championship in '86.
I know.
I mean, it was a great team, but back to my 1999-2000 Rams, greatest show on turf. They won one championship. It's just amazing that you could have a team that is so dominant for 1 year be unable to at least make it happen 2 and 3 years or 3 and 5 years.
We get so conditioned to seeing that happen. Tell us about Michaels and Laser Vision. I'll follow up on that real quick.
205-969-8100. That is the number that I called over 3 or more than 2 decades ago now. I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. Now 2015 vision, better than 2020. Call today, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with the pre-inflation pricing. 205-969-8100. For more information, MichelsonLaserVision.com.
So that was back in the generation of NFC dominance, and their problem was they lost to the 49ers in the NFC Championship game the year before they won the Super Bowl. Then they have the 15-1. Their only loss is Miami in the regular season. They win the Super Bowl. The next 2 years, the Redskins. Now, you kids don't remember the Redskins were a dominant NFC team in the late 80s.
I thought it was the Giants the next 2 years.
Next 2 years, the Redskins in the NFC divisional games. They didn't even make the NFC Championship game the 2 years after they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but in '86 it was the Giants, and then in '87 it was the Redskins, right?
It says Redskins right here. This could be wrong.
No, maybe the Redskins knocked them out, but I'm saying I think the Giants ended up...
Yeah. No, they lost to the Redskins. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
In the divisional, back-to-back years in the NFC divisional game to the Redskins. And then the 49ers beat them again in the NFC Championship. They just came along in a time in the NFC when the NFC was loaded.
Yeah.
The Giants were really good. The 49ers were exceptionally good. The Redskins were really good. And the Bears, had a minute where they were really good. But those four teams were they were the best teams in football.
Well, that's
the AFC
why,
had nothing that can match up.
What they're doing right now with a healthy Joe Burrow, for Kansas City to be able to navigate Buffalo, your Dolphins coming on this year, Baltimore, Cincinnati when Burrow is healthy. That's with the great AFC quarterbacks, that's a lot.
Yeah. Ditka was 106-62 in his time in Chicago. That's really, really good for an NFL coach.
Oh, yeah.
That's a 63% win percentage.
I think they finally closed his steakhouse.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah. Is he dead or alive?
No, Mike Ditka's still with us, right? Ditka has not died.
He's here.
No, he's with us.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Yeah, 84. God, he's 84. That is hard to believe he is that old. 1984. Ditka was such an entertaining guy as a coach. But I'm with you. I hated those teams, and I don't know now, looking back on it, because I think Mongo McMichael is going in the Hall of Fame this year, and I think he's the last one of those main defenders from that Bears defense to go in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Singletary was easy.
Yeah, easy. Richard Dent was pretty easy.
Yeah, Wilbur Marshall, was he in?
I think so.
Dan Hampton?
Dan Hampton was already in. I don't think the fridge didn't go in, did he?
No.
The fridge is not in. But Steve McMichael will go in, and he's really the last one that of that group that went in. But that was such a dominant defense, man.
Yeah, and I think people forget how good of a player Mike Ditka was back in the day. He was inducted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame as a tight end.
Yeah.
He was one of the best tight ends to ever play before how we utilize tight ends now.
I don't know if you guys happened to see it. I did not see it live, but I went back and watched it. I think it was on Championship Sunday, and ESPN was on site at one of the two stadiums on their pregame show, and they did the special, or it might have been Super Bowl Sunday. I guess it was Super Bowl Sunday, and they did a piece on Steve McMichael getting the call that he was going into the Hall of Fame, and I want to say it was Richard Dent that called him to give him the news, FaceTimed with him to give him the news.
See, I always thought it was...
Well, it is, but, he's bedridden, obviously. Steve McMichael, because of the ALS, he can't leave his home. And so they let Richard Dent FaceTime him and tell him, and Steve McMichael's wife held the phone up. And it was a really cool story, and you got to see, Steve McMichael's emotions, his wife's emotions, Richard Dent, as he's telling him. And they had interviews with Singletary and all the guys, Dan Hampton, all the guys that played with him. And then they cut back to the set, and Rex Ryan can barely talk. Because you remember Buddy Ryan was the defensive coordinator for those teams. And Rex Ryan could barely talk. It was really moving to watch it. And just to see Steve McMichael's reaction in that hospital bed. And his wife said, whatever it takes, we're going to have him in Canton.
Yeah.
And she said he may die on the stage, but he'll die exactly where he wanted to die, is on the stage in Canton.
Well, and I agree with you. I think there's a good chance the Bears are going to be involved in that game.
Yeah, they got two guys going in with Hester.
And, when you start to deal with your mortality, when you're dealing with something like ALS, and then you get a call like that with something that immortalizes you forever.
Yeah.
Because one day, you and I are going to be dead and gone, and after the maybe great grandkids put a picture down or pack it in a box, nobody's ever going to remember us. But Steve McMichael, he's going to have that bust in the Hall of Fame.
His kids can forever go, and see his impact on football and wrestling. He was a big impact on wrestling, too. All right, Hemp Hill brings you the lock every day. A reminder, go to Lance's Luck. You got just a few more minutes to do that on TikTok. Lance's Luck on TikTok. Pick winner and score of the game we have given you tonight. We are going to select at random 5 people. If you're in that group of 5 and you get the winner and score right tonight, you're going to get a cool $1,000 from us here at Disrupt the Media and Lance'sLock.com. But the lock brought to you by Hemp Hill every single day.
Yeah, 205-229-2090. Make sure that HVAC unit ready to keep up with this changing weather. I think it's going to be in the mid-70s either in the next couple of days or early next week. It's all over the place, but Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there, trust the name. Birmingham's trust since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. For more information, hard to stop a train, HempHillServices.com.
Help me remember. The game we picked tonight was the late game, right? Colorado State, New Mexico?
Yep.
All right.
Sure is.
Colorado State, New Mexico right now.
And maybe this will help you out. The total opened at 156. It's dipped down to 155.5. So, look, you're expecting a game in the high 70s.
You think
That's what Vegas is expecting, yeah.
Yeah. Where do you think the Alabama-Florida game is played?
I think the Alabama-Florida game is going to be played in the high 80s.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Kentucky, LSU?
Kentucky, LSU. Again, I don't know what we're going to get from Kentucky.
Yeah.
Do we get the effort that we saw on Saturday? If we get that, then I think Kentucky could grind this thing out. It's a high total, though, man. I guess Vegas is expecting Kentucky to bounce back and let teams score on them a little bit.
We will be in Tuscaloosa tonight. I'm over there with Little T filling in for Dunaway. So Alabama, Florida tonight, the only top 25 matchup on the slate. Crimson Tide about 8.5-point favorite there at mybookie.ag. This hour has been presented by Champy's, world famous fried chicken. Champy'sChicken.com. Champy'sChicken.com. Swing by there, grab lunch, grab dinner, get a good margarita there at the bar. Enjoy some of the basketball on TV tonight. You can watch that Bama-Florida game right there at Champy's at 6 o'clock. Champy'sChicken.com. Thank you to all who have joined us. Thanks to Rece Davis and Brandon Marcello. And we appreciate you being with us. Give us a thumbs up before you shut down YouTube today. Give us a thumbs up. Make sure you catch us wherever you go on social media at Next Round Live and on demand. We will see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock.